on Overgrowth for the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters, Maru versus Life. Spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, it's our blue Terran. Representing Jin Air Green Wings, it is Maru. And up to the top right-hand corner, it's our red Zerg, the BlizzCon champion of 2014. Representing StarTale, give it up for Life.
Already a slight mistake here. Any professional Zerg would have noticed this already. Life went up to 9 supply, had 100 minerals in the bank, had time and money to build the Overlord. He then built a drone, and then had to wait, then build the Overlord and went to 10 supply. A small little mistake to start this off by Life, but nothing that is game detrimental at this stage.
Yeah, slowing him down just slightly, very, very minute, and this drone is going to head over to the left-hand side, making sure that there's no kind of proxies going on over in that direction. It can be a little bit tricky later on, but I think for now, he's definitely scouting out for that.
That's the best part, I think, of this final, is these two players know each other inside out. They know each other's styles. Life showing that he knows that Maru is very capable of going for that 2 barracks, sending that drone out very early to look for it.
Yeah, the first Overlord covered the right-hand side. The second Overlord's going through the middle of where the drone and the first Overlord went. So he's going to be able to cover quite a lot of that area. And the drone also getting over there and seeing the barracks down in this location is going to give him a lot of peace of mind for that hatchery first to go uncontested.
Absolutely, and he's going to harass this building SCV trying to get the barracks, but it's so close to completion he does not need to bring another one to come repair or assist with the production of the barracks. He didn't scout the gas timing, by the way, which was a 15 gas coming out for Maru. He's been using this quite a lot recently, where he skips the Reaper, builds 2 Marines, then gets the reactor, then starts adding on Marines 2 by 2, and actually starts to build that Marine count up for a potential factory starport combination attack, which we could see following this out.
Marine's already moving out, and there is an Overlord there, but you can't really get that at all. It will move up to the high ground, so Maru really wants to have a look around, potentially in the main base for the gas. But these drones were looking to block. Life had them on the high ground, just ready to pounce, but too low is that SCV.
Didn't want to reveal that small little bit of information, because that can mean quite a lot here for Maru. Could mean a potential attack that he may want to prepare or follow to scout to see if it's coming. And he could also be seeing Life's greed, and Life not willing to give out any free information.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Sulky try and go for busts against Maru in the previous series, but in this one, Life, he knows how to execute those busts. Of course, Maru's a very good defender, and Maru was able to react nicely, but Life, you got to be careful against this kid. Can throw out anything.
Absolutely, and throughout this series, I'm sure he will.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Queen's already in production here. Speed gets started as well, and Maru already begins his secondary wall just to make sure he's going to be bunkered down for quite literally very soon.
SCV making himself useful there on the other side of the map after scouting, went to the gold base of Life, took a mineral, brought it back, can deposit that in a little bit.
That's very nice, very nice. Efficiency, that's what that is, efficiency. And more Queens going to be added on, just the third actually, probably to get that creep spread going into the middle of the map.
But pretty standard opening so far, and we see Maru, by the way, going for the 3rd command center here very early on, not dedicating resources towards a starport, not dedicating resources towards any types of aggression.
Look at this, looking for the Overlord on the high ground. It's not even there. Life preempted that and moved it down to the bottom right.
And because he moved that down to the bottom right, Maru's stim is now delayed. He should have already started that tech lab on that barracks to start stim pretty fast in this game. Unfortunately, he gambled with that, hoping the Overlord was there to slow Life down, and it wasn't.
Nice little move by Life in anticipation of what Maru is up to, and Barracks does land now, grabbing himself that tech lab. Bunker's going to go up in the wall, and 3rd base has gone down for Life. So plain sailing for Life on the other side of the map. Speed's about to finish up, and Queens continue to come out.
Yeah, he's going up to a total of 5 now. Going to start spreading creep with 3 and lava injecting with the other 2.
Very nice. Can transition one of those over potentially if he wants to over to the 3rd base, but if you've got more Queens at the front, the potential for spreading creep is very, very powerful. Ling actually doesn't get too much information at the front, other than Maru is just constructing that wall.
Yeah, both players in the dark, but both players kind of feeling each other out. That Zergling and now these Hellions. Starting to realize it looks like a pretty standard game coming out from both. what they're probably feeling at this point.
Yeah, no, neither of these really wants to take too much damage early on. He sees the third base.
Yeah, the Hellions see the third base pretty much completed. It's a very standard scout timing for Terran to move up with the first two Hellions to see what the third is or where it is in terms of progression, to then start to build an image of what potentially Life could have done with the resources that would have gone into something else if the hatchery wasn't there or late.
Double Evo against double engineering base, so we're going to be seeing quite a little a longer game out here than anything, unless, for example, these Hellions could do huge damage. But Life has already positioned his evolution chamber as well. I think he's going to be babysitting that choke at his natural very, very well here. Life
playing a little bit greedy here. Usually you'd already see Zerglings started to be built as the Hellions start to come into play, but he's only building a very minimal amount of Zerglings. He's focusing very heavy on his drone count, which we can see has already gone over the 50 mark.
And he does see a few more barracks up at the top there with that, so it gives him good information as to what's going on. But Maru, he loves his bio. It's going to be very, very rare that he actually deviates out of that.
Dancing and playing with fire here is Life. So few defensive units. If these Hellions were to dart into a mineral line, he could do damage, but Maru's not willing to take that risk. It is a gamble when you attempt something like that.
Yeah, he was opting for the creep spread on the right-hand side of the bases to give him vision, and then the Queens were positioned on the left so that they could have greeted the Hellions if they were to come down there. Live! Fourth base this quickly?
Yeah, it's a complete macro game by both sides here. Life knows that at this point, if we were going to see some sort of pressure coming out from Maru early without that third command center, already would have happened. He knows that this is just going to be a very standard, classic Terran versus Zerg game.
Yeah, really opening this up. So greedy. 16 Lings in production, as well as the Baneling nest, so now he is getting a little bit of defensive potential out on the map, but he's already powered up quite nicely with drones. He's already at 70 at the 9-minute mark,
He's looking good. The only one weakness Life has is creep spread has been halted on the right-hand side. There's no active creep tumors. He needs to get respreading over there.
And Ling's going to head over to the third base. They do see that command center landing. He was maybe trying to find a little bit of damage, but Maru was escorting that very, very well. And the Hellions are looking to nip in for a little bit of damage, but the Lings are already out.
Yeah, no blows to either player yet, but Live could be looking to get around these Marines on the third base, but Medivacs are just out, so don't think possible.
Yeah, a little bit more difficult. Actually, not actually picking up that supply depot. These Lings are actually going to get in. Whoa. And even into the second wall as well. A big mistake there by Maru. He's going to lose a few of these SCVs.
The first blow goes to Maru. Excellent play there by Life. It looked like he was going around to the third, but he darted through the middle and straight to the main base and has killed 4 SCVs and just been a nuisance already.
Good block there, though, by Maru to salvage the situation a little bit. Double drop on the way over to the right-hand side, but he actually, well...
The Banelings are really far away. They're very far away. They're on the third base. They do not have speed yet. This is going to allow Maru to deal equal damage.
Spore Crawler gets added on, but that's not going to be too much use here as the Banelings are crashing into those Hellions at the front. He was looking for a little bit of damage himself over on the other side, as were the Lings, but again, he should be able to push this back with the amount of Lings he has there as Queen as well. But more Lings get in once again. Live. How does he manage to do it?
Just darting through. Marines are trying to be waypointed out into the middle between the second and third base, and every time the Marines are going out, the Lings go in.
Yeah, he just somehow finds a way as Live kills off a few more SCV. 12 end up going down. And at least it's been cleaned up again, but Maru's looking for these drop potentials, but the Banelings are already there to greet it.
14 SCVs, a lack of mining time. Life's taking a big lead.
Oh, he's going to actually lose a lot of that, and he has to fall on back. So many more Lings.
Mistake after mistake after mistake coming out from Maru. This is not what he wants in the grand finals of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Especially not in the first game. He's all over him at the moment. His Life really taking the opportunity to keep the pressure on Maru, trying to reinforce at that third base, cleaning this up. A nice focus fire on some of those Banelings, but has to get out of there. Lings actually move forwards into that small force, which doesn't really help them out too much, but he got a few more workers for his troubles.
Another 4 workers here. When you're playing against the world champion, you cannot make these amateur mistakes here. These are mistakes that will lose you the tournament in the quarterfinals, the round of 16. This is the finals. He's got to really sort it out.
Life's on form. He's on point with these Lings that he's made his own throughout his career so far as 2 Medivacs once again head over to that base. But the Mutalisks are about to pop out, 17 of them, because they have so much income. And there's, again, Lings find their way into the natural, doing a little bit of damage here, slowing down everything that Maru has available to him.
Well, he's defending, but he's also trying to do a bit of aggression. He needs to get some damage dealt after taking so many losses.
And he can't boost either. It was on cooldown. Those Medivacs might actually fall left-hand side as well. He is putting on some pressure at that 4th base. At least he was able to find that. One of the Medivacs ends up falling down. Left-hand side, some damage is being done, and there is a Ling still left here. Maru should be able to get cleaned up on the left too.
There's been about 25 SCVs killed in this game already by Life. He's taken a good 30 supply lead. And so far, so good. No turrets have been made anywhere, only just now being added on as these Mutalisks come into play.
Boost back out again there, as he does have the safety of a few Widow Mines for these Mutalisks to not really be able to deal with, as there isn't a Overseer. Well,
look at this next mistake Maru's making. Supply block at 137. He's only just now added on the, well, 4 supply depots in a row after losing one there.
Yeah, adding on 2 Overseers now so that he can be able to push forwards with this little force. And the Banelings are morphing in. Live feels, he senses blood in the water, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and end the series, or end this map, sorry.
That's a lot of Lings flooding forwards. The Banelings aren't morphed in quite yet, but the Mutalisks follow with this as well. I don't know, this might be a little bit over an extension. Maru is able to split quite nicely on the right-hand side. The Widow Mines do a bit of damage, but Live can't kill him off just yet. He needs more Banelings with this to be able to really get a killing blow.
And he's going to go in again.
And try and do as much damage. The Widow Mines are on cooldown. That's going to cause a lot of problems here for Maru, who takes a big chunk of damage to some of those Banelings at the front, kiting back as much as he can do, but he doesn't have enough bio to be able to deal with that. The Mutalisks have been able to chase him all the way back. Here come more Lings to reinforce at the front. And Life, from start to finish, has been all over him here in game number 1, giving him a masterclass on how to play ZVT.
As
GG, game number 1. Whoa. All right.
It's a flawless victory there from Life. Absolutely flawless.
Step back a second and marvel at what Life was able to do just there. Constant pressure from start to finish, and Maru got thrown aside.
It's almost like a ruse, as Life entered today's tournament saying, I'm really tired. I'm not feeling very well. I had a late night. Yet, he's playing as good as he did yesterday.
And Maru not feeling it.
He got absolutely pummeled there.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. As we've said, from Maru's perspective against the players he's played.
He looks a little choked up, if I'm honest with you. And I would be as well after a defeat like that. That was very, very difficult to deal with. And if that is a prelude to the rest of this series, then Maru is going to have to step it up. So join us after the break, guys, as we go to a small commercial break, and then we'll be back for Game 2 of the Grand Final at the Intel Extreme Masters. Game 1 is over as Maru took a bit of a beating there in this grand final, but can he step it back up? He has the ability to. He's one of the best Terrans in the world. But Life, as I said before, showed him a masterclass there.
He played, like I said, a flawless game. It was awesome. Every single move, every single decision was clean. He never second-guessed himself. He was making the counters, the run-bys, the defense, and very simply, a killing attack. Everything looked perfect from him, and Maru has to step it up and get to Life's level if Life's going to continue like this.
Definitely. It all comes from instinct for a guy like Life, who has been so young, growing up with StarCraft. Likewise, Maru has similar instincts, but just faltering there in game number 1. You've got to wonder. He needs to compose himself. Absolutely. I want it to go to all 7 games. I'm sure a lot of people out there want it all to go to 7 games. But I mean, Life looked great.
As simple as anybody at home can say, lift your supply depots. Don't let the run-bys go through. It's not that easy.
No.
Trying to get your Marines out there to join up with the rest of the forces. The Lings are really fast. They just dart through, and the next thing you know, you're losing SCVs. That's what happens to every Terran player, but at this level, it shouldn't happen, to be honest. And hopefully it doesn't from this point on.
Hopefully. Game number 2 is going to be played on Secret Springs. We've seen how many shenanigans have come out on this map in the past. As game number 2 about to begin here of the Intel Extreme Masters Grand Finals. Life leads 1-0 over Maru. These two youngsters playing their hearts out. Maru got to step it up. So spawning over on the right-hand side as our blue Terran representing Jin Air Green Wings, it is Maru. And to the left, it's our red Zerg. Currently leading this series very, very strongly, representing StarTale, it's Life.
As a multiple-year StarCraft fan, watching Life play like that, it makes me, I don't know, I get the chills. I feel
Yeah.
I feel very weird that someone can play so good and everything is happening as it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
As StarCraft players and viewers, you can envision how things are meant to go down and how it's meant to look like, but you can never even get close to perfection. But that was so good. It was like a machine. I guess the best comparison can be like a chess player. After hundreds of years of development, everything is perfect, and that's what it looked like when he was playing there.
Yeah. When life gives you lings, you make, well, when life gives you lava, you make lings, basically. Life just, he flows like water.
It was so very impressive. Maru has opened up with an 11 barracks, by the way, and a second barracks behind it. So a very fast, or faster than usual, first barracks and a faster than usual second barracks here. And he's going to use the same build that he used against Sulky. Sulky went spawn and pull first, though, then hatchery, then gas. Life has chosen hatchery first, then it was 15 hatchery, then 15 spawn and pull, no gas. He's going to have to rely on queens alone in this. Lings aren't going to cut it. He needs to get queens, he needs to save energy on the queens, and he has to build up a lot of them. Yeah. Maybe add in a spine crawler as well, because this isn't going to be easy, but what does he scout?
It's one of the scarier builds. The Overlord is going to probably head over. He was trying to, I guess, see a command center first to start off with this Overlord, but he's completely bypassing the fact that this second barracks is just finished up.
He's so close!
Oh, he's going to go. He's going to go.
He's going to see the second barracks!
Uh-oh. All right, well, Life, you've seen everything you need to see. How are you going to react? Because first Reaper's on the way. A few lings in production. Queen is also on the way. Bunker going down as well. Maru is going to ramp it up from here.
As much as he's seen it, he's now just got to pull off the defense.
And one drone's going to get worked on already. You need good drone micro here to be able to continue on. You don't want to be losing any of these drones at all, but at the same time, against extended production of these Reapers, it can be very, very difficult to deal with. He's already working on one Reaper, taking a little bit of damage of it. Spine Crawler has started as well.
So far, no drones have gone down, which is important.
Good control. We have two queens in production. Gonna have to walk that down from the natural to be able to deal with this, but the bunker's finished up. That does cause a little bit of problems. The Lynx actually also go for the bunker to start off anyway. Only one SCV really wants to get that, but it
nice.
dives into the bunker to keep it safe.
Very nice.
Still this Spine Crawler on the way. 3 Reapers, he's throwing down another bunker. A little bit closer to the mineral line this time as he's microing back, gets a lot of these lings. Very good micro here by Maru.
A couple of things that Life's going to have to do as soon as he mines 100 gas, he's got to pull out of that gas to really be efficient with his income, because every little bit of income matters in this intense of a battle.
Yeah, a few more lings actually being added on here. The Queens were actually focusing down the SCV, and I think they did get it during all that, so he has to cancel the second bunker. Very important for those Queens to get that, slow this down a little bit more.
So far, very clean defense here. Queens now banking up energy, Spine Crawler in range of the bunker, which has to be salvaged, and Zergling speed is on its way.
Beautiful little defense so far by Life. No panic, no real hesitation. Almost one of those queens ends up falling, but manages to pull back. There's so many lings able to push this away. Wow, he saves the queen as well.
And he's got to keep that queen alive. That's the one with the transfuse that can support the other two.
And yeah, now that they're out, they'll be able to zone out just a little bit. Likewise, the lings with ling speed on the way. These Reapers, he's hardly lost a thing here, Sean. How has he been able to manage this?
He's StarCraft.
He's amazing.
It's unbelievable. From the first game to the second game, everything he's doing right is wonderful to watch here. I'm gobsmacked with... I'm just finding it very difficult to speak right now, and it's my job to speak. Zergling's speed is almost finished. He's going to start to chase these down shortly.
Still good micro there by Maru, able to get one of the queens for him, but yeah, you're right. He can't stick around here.
Yeah.
He knew that that spawning pool was wiggling, and with that, speed is on the way.
Yeah, speed is on the way now. He's adding on a couple of extra Zerglings, but this rush for now is over. Good defense. Shame he lost those 2 queens near the end there, but overall, still ahead in supply, still ahead in economy. And the rush is now over without dying to it, which that is either designed to kill you right out, which we've seen earlier on, despite it being a bit more intense versus Hydra earlier.
Oh, is he watching this? Yes, he is. He is watching them, but he's still going to lose a few of them potentially here with the surround. He might be able to bring down a few of these lings on the back pass.
A little bit too overkeen there by Life to try to... There's a lot of Reapers there.
Wasn't enough lings to be able to bring that down. So at least Maru will get his salvation in bringing down these rocks. Going to stay on the opposite side of them. Can jump away, of course, via the gold bases, though. Yeah,
he's going to have to add on quite a few more Zerglings now to protect this third. This is going to be easily picked off. Queens can never go protect it.
Going to be jumping in the back, and they're almost on a suicide mission here if he splits these lings well once they end up popping. And he is going to split a few around the back, comes in here, but splitting them off means that these Reapers can get a few kills themselves. Does bring down 1 or 2 of the Reapers there, though. Whoop. Then they jump on away, trying to get out of here. 1 or 2 of these are very, very low. Starting to heal up just a little bit, manages to get to the gold base for a few extra shot on those lings.
Yeah, nice micro by both sides.
And going to head on home. Now there's the potential transition from Maru here. Later on, he can use those Reapers in tandem with any units that do come along. But of course, now they have lost their edge for quite a while in this game.
Gonna break some rocks up here, which opens up the access to the third base, which Terran will naturally take up here to the north.
And even positioning just a Marine in the middle, just to keep spot on whenever those rocks are going to go down. At least he sees the effect that that base isn't too saturated just yet, or not at all.
Life's going to have to start thinking about some extra gas income here, because he can't afford to get 1-1 upgrades, he can't afford the lair, he can't afford a Baneling nest.
But on Secret Springs, the pace of the game slows just a little bit. The rocks up to the top left, yes, are an annoyance for Maru. Once they get broken down, his third base is all the way over to the left, which is closer to these rocks. That's why we're seeing Life break this down.
But Maru is not going to take the north base, which is very common and very normal here. He's floating his third command center to the gold base.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And actually, it's going to get spotted instantly.
Okay, this is going to be a very aggressive game coming out from Maru. He's gonna be basically whenever you play Terran versus Zerg, you either waypoint in between the second and third, or if you go aggressive with your third command center stance, you waypoint towards the third. Where Maru's third is pointing right at Life's third, right at Life's potential fourth as well, depending on where he takes it. But we are going to see parade pushes right down from north to south on this right-hand side.
This is going to be very, very difficult. There's going to be a lot of production coming out from Maru unless he's able to shut this down early on. Baneling Nests as well as Leia being added on for Life. Very, very normal stuff. He's actually making a lot more lings to help reinforce any lings that he already has and looking to swing on around. Is he just going to go?
He could overwhelm this gold base.
Yeah.
Depending on how many lings he gets out.
I mean, you cut reinforcements off so well between these two locations.
1-1 is almost done. It's about 50 seconds away from doing it.
There's going to be a lot of Baneling, Sean.
Because he knows that Maru is looking to take this gold base and really get this connection between his main base and the gold. And it looks like Life is just trying to cut it in half and just completely stop it.
What if the supply lines are cut off here? He loads up a drop to try and help out the idea of these lings doing a bit of damage here, but that is still a lot of lings. And still not being produced, they're being banked up.
Yeah, and the lings have to go all the way around to even get close.
And they're trying to get some of these Marines on the back. Good micro here by Maru to get as best a trade as he can.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to work, this kind of idea. Maybe...
He needs a ton of Banelings.
Is he going to try to Baneling bust through... through the wall here and get into the main base?
Oh, how many Widow Mines does he have? He has 2 on the way. If he has Widow Mines in good locations, maybe that can help out, but he actually goes for the drop on the other side.
Maru is elevated 3 medivacs worth of units over past the gold base towards this third.
He could be completely out of position. And there's also Banelings there as well to be able to try and deter it. The Widow Mines are actually burrowed. If he loses those, a lot of his defensive potential goes down. He's going for the aggression on the right-hand side of the map as well here. The Banelings are going to force the lift up and has to go home. And the Banelings are in the base. So are the Lings.
Attacks and defends.
Oh my god, he's going to lose so much here if he's not careful. He needs to separate everything up. All the reinforcements are being cut off as they come out of the barracks. He's trying to bring back all of those medevacs as this is going on, but he's lost so much back home.
And there is a lot more Zerglings on the way to the other side of the map here to continue this onslaught.
Such an unconventional attack path here considering the base layout, but Life once again has found a way through into the main base, into the natural. Lings are going over to the gold base as well. There's not much to defend.
Yeah, he's looking to break these rocks down south now to get easier access towards this gold base. He's got Lings absolutely everywhere.
You can't give Life Lings. You can't give him them. Somehow he always just finds an opportunity to dive into every single one of your bases, wherever you are, and he's making so much use of this. It's ridiculous.
Well, the gold base has been defended well with the bunker and some repairing SCVs here, and throughout all of this, Maru is still alive. He's still mining very well on that gold base. He's got a lot of mules. He's stabilized.
It was a good defense regardless of how much aggression have been put on towards him, but Ling still flood in. These rocks down the bottom have been broken up. A big Widow Mine hit kills off a lot of those Banelings. That's exactly what Maru needed here to be able to turn this around a little bit.
Well, the onslaught has stopped now, and Maru continues on with his original plan and original strategy. Yes, he lost a lot of SCVs, but this gold base is really powering him up pretty strong here, having a lot of SCVs mining minerals here. And throughout all this, Life neglected the Spire and his fourth base. He really wanted to win the game there and then with that type of strategy, but it didn't work, and now Maru is the player who's looking to try and get a lead, a big one.
Those 3 Widow Mines are absolutely clutch here if they are able to do some damage, but actually they go down to about 4 or 5 Banelings. There are still a lot retained there for Life behind that, and now it's only Marine. He may have to pick up and get out of here. That's a lot of Banelings. Oh, he's actually going for aggression on the other side as well. Those Widow Mines aren't actually burrowed. Does burrow them. Are they going to be able to do too much here? They're a good split again, and the defense should be able to hold here for Maru.
Well, 3 medevacs looking to deal damage here. No Mutalists out. Very difficult to stop them bouncing between these 2 bases here. A perfect position to go from this base here to lift up to go back to the third.
Oh, he's on top of some of the production, and those Banelings should be able to once again shoo this away. But you're right, he can bounce between those 2 locations. So annoying for a Zerg to deal with.
Does he get the SCV line?
Oh, he reacts. Oh, he's going to go back. That bunker is causing a nuisance. And some of these Banelings do end up falling. He gets a few of them, though. 14 have gone down in that window of time. Also another wraparound here. This fighting never ends as Life continues to go for this round. Maru has to pick up and get back out again, but he is up in terms of supply and can continue that assault down the bottom right.
Life lost a lot of workers here too. He lost about, I don't know, it was around 10 or something, but he's not mining gas efficiently right now. On his natural, he's not mining properly, and on this third base down there south as well, he's not mining. You need gas. Banelings and mules are crucial in the defense.
And Maru dropped a scan up at the 4th base location to find out how well he is doing in this game, and I think he's probably quite content with his position down here. Even drops it at the gold base as well, confirming how much of a little bit of a lead he's got going into this 3rd base.
All he's got to know is his income is higher, keep the pressure on this 3rd base, and you will eventually break it.
Very difficult for Maru Life to deal with here, I should say. With only 4 Mutalisks, it's Banelings only that are really trying to keep him in this, and even his Mutalisks can't get too much done at that gold base. So what a great choice it was by Maru to eventually have this gold base pay off for itself, and now the aggression just keeps on going.
Just keeping on adding on units.
Whoop, that Widow Mine didn't do too much up to the north. It caught some Banelings down to the left-hand side, but trying to flood across it, and that Widow Mine got a lot of the Banelings on the retreat out. Maru still with a good 30 supply lead here.
Yeah, the problem that Maru's facing now is he's keeping half and half. His half army back at home and half army attacking because he's not sure if the counterattacks are going to continue on like they have done for the rest of the game, and now that other half has joined in. From this point on, you can go back to what the very basic plan was, is to rally all the way through now. Life doesn't have enough resources to counterattack all the time like he was doing before, where his income was much higher. Maru just needs to get everything down this location.
And because he was so behind in terms of his tech before, he hasn't really had any opportunities to shut down this Widow Mine field that has been created here. As he tries to push in again, the splits are good, the Widow Mines do their job. Life is really on the ropes at this 3rd base. If this ends up falling, then you can say goodbye to Life in this game, as the Mutalists aren't going to be able to do enough here to be able to push back all of this. The reinforcements still keep coming for Maru.
Yeah, and they're also pretty fast coming across here for Life as well. He's very good at getting reinforcements over there as well, but when these mines recharge and more units streaming across, if you look at the minimap, Life must not lose this hatchery. It is so important to keep this alive. If it dies, it ends. It's that simple.
It's such a safety net to have those Widow Mines to retreat back to here for Maru, as Live is trying to find a small engagement here and there. Drops a scan, sees how many Banelings are morphing in, decides to poke forwards. Those Lings are trying to go for the Shroud. They don't get it. Picks up, gets out of there. Really good reaction times here by Maru, just to be able to pull back this army that he is keeping good eye on.
Widow Mines have moved up another level now.
So many of them as well. They just keep on moving forwards. The Mutalisks get hit by one, and as this continues on, it gets harder and harder for Life to really do anything. Maru is absolutely strangling him here.
And he's got his +3 attack and +2 armor on the way. There's so many good things going well here for Maru.
Oh, another good Widow Mine hit. Kudos to Life for holding on as long as he has done, considering the deficit of supply, but there's not too much that he can do. One Baneling actually gets a really good shot on some of those Widow Mines at the front and does shut those down. But can this continue on further? I'm not sure.
Well, Life is droning up while this is going on, which is absolutely unbelievable. He's trying to get a couple of more drones to increase his income to try to overwhelm this force here by Maru, but he's getting closer and closer to this hatchery.
If he makes the defense somehow, then unbelievable, but I don't think it's going to happen just yet as Maru continues on, gets himself a big pickup of Zerglings there at the front. The Banelings get split against. There's always more Marines on the way, 11 in production at any time. Just rallied across there. It's so hard for Life to deal with.
And now it's about to get even more difficult with the +2 armor upgrade kicking in and that +3 attack, even though Life has pushed him back to the Widow Mines. Now let's see him compete against these Marines. They're leveled up.
They are Super Saiyan Marines here. Gonna do so much damage against this small force, this small poultry force that Life has. Really not much available to him all. As much as Banelings can try and turn things around, the Widow Mines recharge again, kill off the remaining Mutalisks, and all he has left is 12 Lings on the field. How are you gonna be able to compete with +3 weapons on these Marines?
He's not Kalaris. It's quite simple at this point that Life is had a very valiant defense here, a very good try to hold this, but his third hatchery is 50%, and like I said, when that goes down, the game is virtually over.
Such impressive aggression. GG, 2 goes to Maru. He ties up the series 1-1. And that, again, fights from start to finish, just like in game number 1. Life just kept on the pressure. Likewise here, the shoe is on the other foot now. Maru kept on the pressure, whilst he was even being counterattacked and was able to deal with it pretty darn well.
Very cool series so far, with just 2 games gone into this best of 7. Life still sticking to how he played in game number 1 and how he's played for the rest of the series, never second-guessing himself. He saw the gold base being taken and said, I am going to try to cut this lifeline in half that you're trying to waypoint through the middle, and you can't possibly defend 2 locations at once. If I'm able to get right in the middle, you choose which one you're going to defend, and the other, I will attack. That was a great decision. It was awesome to see that that was his plan to combat this. But unfortunately, Maru was able to defend in 2 different locations. And from that dedication to that strategy from Life, he cut out the Spire. He cut out his 4th base, and he went gung-ho with Ling production and Banelings. And eventually, when it didn't work, Maru just took a natural advantage. His Medivac use was great, and he got his plan intact. From the gold to the 3rd of Life, and it was all about the parade push.
Yep.
The typical parade push that we've seen over the years of Terran, just waypointing their units, rally pointing their units to the economy of the Zerg, and eventually wearing them down to the victory as we saw.
In theory, it's all good, and even in real-life conflict, it's a tactic that is employed quite often. Cut off the supply lines, cut that in half. Didn't quite work there in game at number 2 for Life, even though the idea was cool. But now, Maru ties it up 1-1. So, his 3rd map is going to be on Deadwing, I believe. I'm really hoping for cross spawns. I'm really, really hoping that we do get cross spawns so we can have a nice long game between these 2. But that was Maru showing that, yes, he is able to compose himself, because there was a lot of pressure hitting him, and he was able to deal with it. So that's that gives us good hope here as the series continues on to see a very, very long one.
And it's always nice to see with the Intel Extreme Masters as a global event, traveling to many different continents, many different countries, all the StarCraft 2 fans that come out here. There's a lot of people. There is a lot of people in the audience right now watching and cheering for their favorite player between the 2. And if you're a StarCraft fan, you know who the hell Life is. You know who Maru is. And it is a pleasure for us all to sit here and enjoy this for the next hour or so. It's 1-1. It's so close between the both, and we could see it go the distance.
I can see the excitement in you, Sean. So let's get into it. Game number 3 now in this best of 7. As we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner, it's our blue Terran, it's Maru. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg. After falling in the second game, can he take number 3? It's Life.
Whew. All right, game number 3 now. Deadwing in these positions, like you said, cross positions is nicer for the Zerg, I would like to say. It's a little bit easier to take good fights in the center of the map, and once you get to that late game, if it's at an equal stance, you just feel a little bit more comfortable with the way that it's playing out. In these positions, it can prove a little bit more difficult here. The parade push through the center, taking the Zelnoga Tower, holding that Zelnoga Tower as your kind of your base where you set up camp and the fire, and
it's the outpost, man.
It is the outpost, and that's what Maru will want to do if it does get to that stage of the game. And then just kind of choose what he does from that point, whether he just pushes through the middle, drops to the main base. There's a lot of different ways that he can play it out from that.
Yeah, look at him checking everywhere, making sure nothing crazy is going on. At least for him, he sent his Overlord in the correct direction to start things off. So we'll be able to spot where his opponent is. Although, I mean, you don't really have many options where you're going to send that first Overlord unless you were going crazy and going for cross positions.
I do like that Maru's playing against his image that he's created for himself over the years. As we see Life playing into that image with the drone scout, looking for the 2 barracks, when in reality it is just that command center first.
So what's Life going to opt to do? He goes for the spawning pool after hatchery first, and this drone manages to spot the fact that he isn't up to the top left. So again, just checking if anything crazy is going on.
And it was a pretty, not a pretty late, but a later spawning pool than usual here. Life saying, well, if you got a 2 racks, I would have seen it, so you're clearly not, so I can get away with that slightly later spawning pool.
And he does see the gas with this Overlord, and he also reveals the Overlord, so now Maru knows where Life is also spawned, giving him that information. You don't have to, but he does. Yeah,
Life wants to get this Overlord all the way behind the base. He went in, saw the gas, so he knows this is a command center first. He also now says it's not a double gas, which is an older build from command center first, where you can go command center first, barracks, then double gas, which is very fast Hellion Banshee and can play a very technical Terran matchup from that, but he knows that's not going to be the case here. And the Overlord's going to get in prime position to poke in again, to have a look if that third's there, and also just kind of check what this barracks and potential factory location that area is up to.
Third hatchery on the way. Is there any potential for Life to go for something very aggressive on this map, considering there isn't a ramp into the natural base?
Yes, depending on what he sees with this Overlord, because he'll be wanting to keep eyes on that single gas in the back. Inside the main base there, that Maru, there's 1 gas being taken, and he'll want to keep an eye on the other one. Is that taken? Is the natural being taken? And if he saw it was just 1 gas, and that we could see a 3rd command center play come out from Maru, yes, he could try to do something.
But it seems that the 2nd gas has been taken already by Maru to get that factory up and running, getting that going.
And that is information that Life would want to gather at this point. He's seen the factory being built, but ideally that Overlord should poke in to check the 2nd gas.
Wolof going to start for Maru at the front, as well as these 2 links head across and look for some information. The queens are already being produced, and again, I do like to see creep spread being very, very active on this map, because the middle is all 1 level. It can be very easy to get that flourishing across the map.
Life has checked the 2nd gas. He's seen the 2nd gas with that Overlord. He knows exactly what's going on.
All right, so takes his own gas himself behind this at the natural to get himself up and running.
Well, I say exactly. He knows that some type of build is coming out that usually pushes around aggression. Doesn't know if it's Hellbats or, you know, what exactly it is, but he knows something is coming his way soon, so he will naturally set up a defense soon.
From there on out, the creep spread's going to begin as it chooses with that 3rd queen just to go for the creep tumor before the lava injects. It's actually pretty difficult to spend all of your lava this early on in the game as Zerg, so you may as well get that one going. And he sees the starport on the switch up onto the tech lab.
He sees the tech lab, so he knows now that he's playing against Banshees, Hellion Banshees. So he's already got quite a few queens out, 4, with a 5th one on the way. And now he's going to have to choose how he would like to defend against the Cloak, which is inevitably going to be on its way. And a very easy and simple way to do this is just to add a Spore Crawler in each and every mineral line and try to minimize the amount of damage that these Banshees can do.
Yeah, not quite as efficient as the Overseer option, but you have to take that hit. You don't necessarily want to be investing gas into your layer this quick. You'd rather have some Zergling speed going on, especially after only taking the 1 gas around the 550 mark. So, and adding on the double evolution chambers to really make sure that he's going to be getting those upgrades nice and fast here.
Yeah, and notice how he's not rushing out the Spore Crawlers. He's waiting for the perfect time to do so.
Ooh.
And with waiting for the perfect time to do so, means that he can get as much mine from those drones that were going to turn into the Spore Crawlers before he actually does.
And so there's the first Banshee on the way now across. Second one gets put in production as well. Double engineering bay goes down. And he did see the Spore Crawlers and decided not to, do anything with the cloak. It's still very useful. You can find small pockets, despite Spore Crawlers being active, where you can use those Banshees to good effect.
Yeah, just very standard opening here from Maru. Just factory, starport, so Hellion Banshee into third command center, into engineering base, into extra production.
And trying to find a little bit of an angle. Spore Crawlers covering that. Not too badly, though. Gets himself 2 drones to start things off. But it's going to be melee upgrades from here on out. Life loves those lings, as we've all seen already.
Ideally, as a Terran player, you do want to see damage dealt from these Hellion and Banshees. And 2 drones, not really sufficient enough. For the investment of Cloak and double Banshee here.
Yeah, he's up to 62 drones already, going up to 70 very soon. The Overlord does end up dying, but that really got its job done earlier on by seeing things. 4th base is going to be added on here for Life, and that Banshee might just have seen that drone heading down there, so might chase.
Life knows exactly what he's playing against. With that scout of the barracks, he knows that by process of elimination and just kind of understanding the timings of how Terran is, if the barracks are being built now, there is a third command center that's been built before.
He doesn't cancel. That's a nice pickup there for Maru with these Banshees, considering that they couldn't get exactly to the mineral lines that they wanted to. So a full kill on that hatchery is a really nice start.
But he is already playing against a 70 drone Zerg on 3 bases, and it's about to be 79 drones as 9 more have been created. And Life's just had a free ride to Drone City for the last 10 minutes here. He's had minimal amounts of defensive units out. He's got very good creep spread already, and he's got a fantastic economy.
Yeah, he didn't necessarily need to spread the creep towards the 4th base just then, but if he does, it means that he can actually defend that from those Banshees with the Queens if they want to come. If the Banshees want to come back, he gets all of the Hellions in the middle of the map.
Yeah,
and the Lings
he gets all the Hellions, and then he adds on 20 more Zerglings here. I'm not sure if he's just trying to build up his army count because he's already at 80 drones, or if he wants to try to get a bit of damage done to this third. With 2 Banshees out, I don't think that's the right choice. I think he should just be building and starting to morph some Banelings back home for the next push, which technically should be on its way by now. The medevac should be out. I think, yeah, there they are.
The Lings were already under pressure at the front, even just a few more drones being squeezed out here as Baneling speed is being added on, and Maru starts the potential drop play over on the right-hand side. Overlords are there to be able to spot at least.
Look at the defensive Spore Crawlers that were used for the Banshee at the start, now been positioned to prevent drops hitting him in the back while he's focusing on the fights at the front.
Yeah, no need for them to be in the mineral line. If you're layer tech and you can have an Overseer trundling around with your potential defensive Queens, etc. As Lings will react over at this 4th base, along with Banelings too. Also, the Banshees causing a little bit of havoc from the air whilst that drop's going on. It's a nice little synergy move there from Maru. Ooh, and getting this Spore Crawler, keeping that medevac alive. Good reactions there by Maru as he drops on in, but he's going to have to pick up and get out of there.
He's going to switch down to the 4th. A nice position here for Terran to go in between these 2 bases.
And these Marines will probably be cleaned up. Still no pickup, so regardless, gets pushed away. And more drops being loaded up.
At this stage of the game, as a Terran player, before your 2-2 is ready, you're looking to do as much damage as possible with drops, and these 2 Banshees, of course, because he's got them out, to slow the Zerg down for when your 2-2 is ready and your army size hopefully is now bigger because you've slowed the Zerg down. You can look for a killer fight.
And he's going to actually have to be pushed back again here. Drops a few of those Marines because there was only 1 Baneling, or a couple of Banelings there. Drops a few as he picked them up to trade off. And actually, in fact, that was a pretty good trade if he's able to get out with the medevac and also distract as he jumps into the natural with some of these Widow Mines that are going to do some damage to the drones. And he's also got a good position against these Zerglings as well. Oh, but the Baneling manages to squeeze through.
Maru's harassment is really good right now. He's killed a lot of drones already. I think it's about 10 actually in total over the last couple of minutes, or at least some that have been transferred into some static defense, but 10 drones, a lot of harassment. He's killing creep in the middle. Very good play here from Maru.
Yeah, that first game really seems like a blip at this point, as he is playing a lot better now in game number 2, game number 3, likewise, pushing through the middle, keeping up in terms of supply.
But as much as he has slowed Life down a bit, Life's still got a very sizable army, so Maru doesn't want to overextend himself, go too far on creep, or Something along those lines, because look at the size of Life's Baneling count and Zergling count. He'd overwhelm small amounts of an army.
2-2 about to finish up here for the Terran on that bio, and he actually does push forward. So the Widowmines did a lot of damage to his own Marines. Oh, but he gets a lot of Banelings with that extra Widowmine. And he's going to pull back for now as well.
Life pounced on that army because he saw 2 Medivacs lift up with 15 Marines. And he went in, and he had a bad trade, which means the 2 Medivacs are going to do a lot of damage because he couldn't even win the fight that he hoped he would with these units missing.
Yeah, Maru is doing really, really well at the moment with his position in the middle, and also this drop heading on down to the left-hand side. It could do quite a bit of damage in that third base. There's only 1 Queen, 1 Spine Crawler. The forces are going to have to come back to deal with that, and they are, but there's already quite a sizable bit of damage being done. There's 1 Widowmine there that could cause a bit of problems, and it does get a lot of drones for himself.
Maru has no intention to slow down in this game, Kalaris. He just wants to just hammer a fight home through the middle of this area where he's cleared up a lot of creep. He's killed another 11 drones. He hasn't got a 4th command center. He's actually added on 3 extra barracks there on that third base that are just going to be pumping out these units. He's going to be dropping in multiple locations, and he's hoping to win this game in the next couple of minutes here, if he can get the ideal fight.
Yeah, with him hitting his stride, he's going 100 miles an hour. That being said, though, Life has a lot of Banelings. Actually, these ones moving forwards didn't really do massive amounts. 1 Widowmine has had its charge been taken away from it, but he's going to move in again with another wave. Drop on the left-hand side over at the third base, trying to get even more drones. Gets a couple, not too many. The Mutalisks will be able to clean that up along with it, and Banelings sacrificing themselves just for a few Marines in the middle as well. Maru was, they're so close in terms of supply.
Every drop that Life has to go back to defend, Maru knows and pushes forward and clears more creep. He's waiting for the creep to really go back. Hold that thought, though. Life's going to jump in on this.
Whoa, that's a lot of lings. Are they going to try and get the surround here? They do manage to get a bit of a clump at the front, but the splits are still good here for Maru. He picks up the Thor, gets that out of there with a very weak medevac. Wow, that save on that Thor.
Whoa, Life pounced on in that fight, and that was a really good engagement taken there by Maru. The splits were great. He's fighting with the majority of his forces off creep. He picked up the Thor. Everything was awesome there by Maru.
Yeah, it's providing a lot of anti-air. Those Mutalisks diving in do take a lot of damage to those Javelin missiles. He pushes forwards once again. Wants to stop him. He's basically knocking on his door at the moment, and Life does not want that at all. But again, there's no creep spread. This keeps getting closer and closer, Sean.
Yeah, it's just going all the way back. It started well in this game, but Maru has just had some excellent drops and excellent creep clearing. And from this position, it's just rebuilding up again. There's no need for him to rush this out. He's got his 4th now down. He's got his 3-3 on the way. He can slow the pace of the game down now. Just regather his troops, set up position, and go again.
As he moves to the edge of creep, the very edge. And he's looking to tempt Life out of his base here, and some of these units do get drawn out, but the Marauders at the front soak up some of those Banelings as well.
Life's got to stop this momentum. He has to take a good fight.
There has to be good Baneling hits on some of these Marines, but again, the splits just continue on for Maru. He's reinforcing across the map. These 4 Banelings, do they get anything done? No, they don't. The Medevacs are a little bit vulnerable. One of them ends up falling to some of those Mutalisks, but again, here comes the flood forwards. Do the Banelings do a whole lot? Actually, on the left-hand side, they were able to clear up a lot of the Marines, and Life survives for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but now we're about to see 3-3 complete, and once again, regathering of the rest of Marines that have been waypointed across the map here. Widowmine's coming in, a 30 supply difference. 3-3's done. This is going to be very difficult. Again, as we saw in the previous map, Maru is playing this awesomely. He's got Life exactly where he wants to, and one good fight with 3-3 upgrades completed will win him this, and will put Maru in the lead in the series for the first time.
If you think Maru was going fast before, wait until these Marines kick in now with that 3-3 done, and it's going to do a lot of damage. GG, Maru takes game number 3. Life realizes he's not able to do anything against that. And wow, Maru really turned it up.
Classic Terran versus Zerg at its finest. Excellent play from both sides, but it is Maru who got the better end of Life in the last 2 maps, goes up 2-1. And as well as Life played and as flawlessly as he played on map number 1, Maru is fighting back and is equaling the skill level that Life showed us at the start of the series.
All right, game number 4 going to be on the way in a bit. Catalina is going to be our map. And we've already seen a lot of good TvZ on this map actually already in the tournament. But for now, Maru up 2-1 in this grand final, in this best of 7.
Yeah.
Such a strong position.
Very strong position, and those spawning locations he had on Deadwing were ideal for him. We mentioned it at the start. If he could just go straight through the middle, use that Xel'Naga tower and push the creep back and eventually push life back, in those positions, 4 bases of Zerg, easy peasy lemon squeezy to take. Take a 5th? No way. No way you taking a 5th. And if he can hold you in that position, you will eventually start to slow down, mine out, and simply die.
Not a good position to be in. Not one at all. Life now going to have to contemplate how he's going to come back in this series, because his general normal game tactic in these past 2 games, well, I mean, game number 2 was a bit strange compared to a normal tactic, but we'll find out.
Well, the next map here, Kalaris, is going to be Catalina. As you said, this can be played out well. Again, for Maru, if he brings the level of play that he had in the previous one. I suppose we'll talk about that in a couple of seconds here once we load into it. But excellent StarCraft on display here at the Intel Extreme Masters.
I mean, Sean, imagine if Maru is able to take this game and he goes to match point. What does Life do from there? He absolutely has to tie up this series.
Well, the rest of the series after Catalina's going to start to get a little bit tricky because the new maps are going to be involved.
Oh, yes. We saw Secret Springs before, but we haven't been seeing Varney Research Station. We haven't seen the rest as we now get into this game. Spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner on Catalina. Currently 2-1 in the lead. Representing Jin Green Wings, it is Maru. And over on the left-hand side, as our red Zerg, representing Startail, it's Life.
Okay, there's going to be one already location of danger that Life must focus on, and it's going to be the south side of his main base. Is a very weak point the longer the game goes on here. Drops are going to be so simple. Well, put it this way. He will never expand to the center of the map here, where that location is slightly east of his base. He'll always be going north away from the Terran. But the Terran will be pushing through the middle and can very easily send 1 or 2 medivacs to the left, which would then be into Life space. Very easy for Maru to do that, very difficult if Life's out in the open to fall back and defend. That will be a weakness for him.
As you said before, the image that Maru has built himself is just constantly scaring Life into scouting positions anytime.
Yep.
This is the most common location for a Terran 2 tri-proxy. You can't put it anywhere else, really, unless you're being really quite crazy because of the distance between the 2 potential spawning locations.
Maru's a nutter. He can just 2 barracks in any map, in any series. It doesn't matter. You can never predict when it's going to happen.
And Life just checking for that. So, for now, does see the barracks up there, giving him that peace of mind once again. It's going to be the Reaper opener, as that spawning pool does end up being thrown down from Life on the other side of this. Again, I've got to reiterate, if Life does not win this game and Maru goes 3-1 up, I'm not sure how he's going to stop Maru. I'm really not. After seeing these last 2 games, he's played brilliantly, has Maru. Brilliantly.
It almost feels at this level of play, one mistake, and if you give your opponent the advantage, it's over.
It snowballs.
It's over.
Yeah.
You really have to go toe-to-toe throughout the game. And if you... Well, I mean, we've seen it. Look in map number 1. Give it the advantage to Life, it's over. Map number 2, give it to Maru, it's over. Game 3, the same.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about how game number 2 started, and then we show you the game later on with the goal boost being taken and Maru putting on the pressure at the 3rd base, the defense from Life was brilliant. But apparently, in the end, not enough.
This is a cool trick I've seen from Maru do. He's actually been doing this a lot recently, bringing the SCV to hopefully get an easier drone kill, which we've just seen.
Loses himself an SCV as well, but mules are a factor in this matchup too, which does help Ann out. And the Reaper is going to continue on that with that aggression. Good micro there by Life, though, to save those extra 2
drones.
Gonna get a second. Ooh. Oh, one more shot. Needs to build like a spore crawler or something, but he doesn't have the money. Reactor.
Oh my...
Oh, he gets another one. You can't build that many assimilators.
He's just got him 2 drone kills, and he's forced out all these lings.
Yeah, that's a lot of lings.
It's 8 Zerglings, and you usually see 6 is the comfortable number for a Zerg player. He's like, okay, I'll build 6, fine. You got Reapers.
Assimilators, spore crawlers, anything. Panic. Well, pulls another drone away and doesn't lose another one.
There is a 3rd Reaper on the way too, so this is not over yet.
Wow. just keeps on going with this pressure. And again, you know, it's what we've seen start to finish.
Yep.
Both of these guys have really been in each other's faces.
And now the Reapers are going to join up. He could even try to grab a queen kill.
Yep, micro him back against this. Still, there are 7 lings there, so they really need to buffer for this queen, but that's a lot of damage already done. If he's able to get back in.
The queen's already dead almost.
This is not looking great.
This is unbelievable control from Maru. Very, very clean.
And he might get another drone as well. Oh, almost getting pinned up against that wall. Doesn't. Wow. Oh, he loses one of the Reapers in the end. Good by the queen to focus that down.
Yeah, but he forced out 4 more Zerglings there. You never want to be building an additional 4.
So well done by Maru to start things off. Command center
Very
behind
good.
this. Extra gas going down. Hellion production has already begun here for Maru.
And also a starport.
Ooh. Well, with the amount of damage you took earlier on, it does slow little things down like that. And when you have to be forced to make a spore crawler, also when you don't have as many drones as you used to, it has knock-on effects.
And he's going to go Hellion Banshee again, off the back of 3 command centers. So this time it's just the reverse of the setup here, where off the command center first, he went for the Hellion Banshee and then went 3rd command center. This time off the Reaper expand, he went 3rd command center, and now he's going for the Banshee afterwards. Very good build.
3rd base now on the way for life. Gonna head across with just a few of these Hellions as well as the Reapers to complement. Very annoying composition to deal with. How many lings does he have? He's been forced to make another 8 lings, 10 lings. Baneling Nest's on the way.
Live has no idea what's going on in this game. The Baneling Nest could be for an attack, which would be pretty wild, but it also could be for defensive reasons. But the way that he's not scouting is like he doesn't care.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of lings now as well.
It seems that it is just going to try to bust. He's just trying to break this, but with Banshees and an armory on the way, Hellbat's in defense with Banshees in the sky.
And if he pokes up and sees that many lings, look, Live trying to hide the amount of lings he has as he was poking up there.
He may change it. Will he change his mind? I don't know if he's going to change it. His drone count's okay, but he's seen the second gas. He's seen the armory.
If he does change his mind, look how much lava has gone into the investment. I mean, maybe he's anticipating 6 Hellions coming along.
He's gonna go for it. There's no doubt.
He's gonna have almost 50 lings.
When does Maru click though?
Yeah, he only sees a few lings in the main base.
There's a lot of lings that have escaped his vision that have gone through the center of the map.
Yeah, they're heading across. There is that Banshee. Is that the Banshee just below them? I don't think it saw them.
No, he didn't. I've been watching it. This Hellion will, though.
It's a little bit open. He could actually flood on in.
It is open, unless he walls off. He's got to try something.
The Hellion! Oh, the Hellion doesn't even get the block either! And now the lings are in, and they don't get past the second wall. But Baneling's already morphing in. Reinforcements from Maru are going to have to come all the way back from the main base. Pressure is off Life, but it's on Maru's doorstep.
Well, is he going to be able to make this defense now?
That's a lot of Banelings morphing in. The Hellion's got to be very, very careful about how they're going to deal with this.
If these Hellions die, oh boy.
He needs to just micro. He's getting a very small choke. Actually lowers the supply. He pulls lings from the back. He gets a bit of a surround. Going to catch off a lot of these units. There's still Banelings alive, and he's getting more and more lings rallying across the map here. How much is he going to do?
I think Life's starting to feel that he might not be able to kill him here. He has gone back to drones, but Banshees are doing a lot here.
He got himself 21 workers.
He needs to wall off.
21 workers falling during all of this. More lings are on the way, but with 2 Banshees there now, it's too much firepower
He's
for him
got
to really
just
do.
one structure wall off here.
And then he should be fine. He's
I guess he could let the units filter through to get maximum splash damage from these Hellions. I guess that works as well.
That does, actually. Lining them up nicely. But those Banshees need to find those Banelings. He's actually going to try and go across the other side of the map. I mean, the majority of the aggression has subsided, but a few Banelings are going to do a little bit more here.
Well, yeah. Straight through.
Ooh, the Hellions lined them up once again.
Banshee's coming back. They're on the other side of the map. They have to come back.
I think it's continuing on, but there's not that many. There's just drones, drones, drones after this. He could have kept going. I think he could have defended this with the Hellions alone.
Yeah, probably. And Maru now sends the Banshees back upon realizing, but it's 60 drones to 30 SCVs. And the spore crawlers all over the place to protect in case there is cloak, which there is.
So, is this enough here for Life to have a very sizable lead?
Yes.
It's going to be a good opportunity for him to tie it up 2-2.
Maru can start to bring it back, though, depending on how much damage these Banshees get.
That was a weird little Banshee shot there as the drone dived into the extractor. The missiles flew off to the left-hand side. Never seen that before, but they are looking for a little bit of damage. Do force a bit of mining time lost at that main base. And Spires on the way with centrifugal hooks as well.
Yeah, and I think that we may see a Baneling... Okay, no. I was thinking maybe a Baneling Mutilus attack could come, as a follow-up to the mid-game, but there's the evolution chambers now coming in, so he will want to upgrade soon. Likewise, Maru getting his to continue his, or start his, should I say.
He never linked his main base to natural with the creep, so those queens had a bit of a hard time getting back to reinforce.
10 drones, by the way, so yes, at that point when you asked me, yes, it was a lead. Now, is it a lead? Starting to become questionable. There's a lot of damage these Banshees have got.
Imagine if the Banshees had actually gone as he was defending with the Hellions at that very last wave. They could have even got more. So
16 drone kills.
Very nicely done. And there's another Banshee up to the north looking to find a sweet spot. Doesn't find the sweet spot out of vision, but finds it out of the range of the Spore Crawler. And that Queen does a bit of damage, but gets a few more kills.
Very nice set of drone kills there. 18 after that Banshee harass.
1-1 on the way for Lings now, whilst we have 1-1 starting for Maru behind this for Bio. So once again, the transitions for these guys, very, very similar. But as the game goes on, we've seen how explosive Maru's macro has been in the past couple of games.
And there's only 3 queens, which means creep spread is lacking here. And he's going to have to sacrifice lava injects to get this creep spread going.
4th base going to go down for life up to the north, but these Lings, don't think they can really do too much. I mean, those Hellions as well as the Marines situated in front of these bases should be able to push this back. Small scout forwards, doesn't see too much. Wrapping around with the side. Ling's going to try and go for a bit of damage here on this 3rd base, but the army's already there positioned.
Not enough Marines, though. But with Banshees and Hellions in support, that's enough. This potential timing coming up from Maru when he gets his Medivacs out is going to be pretty good. When he gets all his units together, pretty much, it's going to be a nice opportunity for him to deal damage. He has an armory from very early on, and he's kept a lot of his Hellions alive. There's 5 Hellions and 3 Banshees.
Yeah.
If Banshees were targeting down Banelings, for example, well, the Hellbats and Marines with Medivacs and 1-1 start to fight.
Oh, that's a shame for him. Running straight into the Overseer and Mutalisks. Has to try and divide them up to get them away. And will, with one of them for a little bit, maybe some damage. Even a Baneling or 2 here is going to be worth it, considering that they're almost sacrificed at this point.
And drop inside the main base, going to deal damage here, and this is a weakness as pointed out from earlier.
Not too many Banelings here to help out. 2 rolling in now, and actually gets the pickup already. Boosts on out of there, making sure those Mutalisks can't do too much, and the Mule drop over at the 3rd base. So Maru's economy is really going to be ramping up very soon. This Banshee, wow.
Yeah, shouldn't get the kill though.
No. But somehow survived for a little bit longer than I was expecting. As, again, this army is gathering momentum. 40 Marines out on the map right now.
Yeah, 2nd factory coming in so he can start to really increase the Widowmine production as he would like to do. But 4 Medivacs worth of units here with 2 Widowmines.
That's more than Life is probably anticipating at this angle.
Doesn't really want to allow these units to plant themselves in.
He's trying to trade off against the Banelings, and if he only has to fight Lings with 4 Medivacs worth here, then he might be able to have a better time. The Mutalisks are coming along, but there's 2 Widowmines here that could cause a bit of damage. Catch some of the Lings, picks on, gets out of there, but the Mutalisks will chase it away.
Yeah, good defense there by Life, as Maru really wanted to put the pressure on with that.
10 more drones.
Unsuccessful. Yeah, 10 more drones because he's only on 70, and the way that Zerg vs. Zerg has played recently is like 80 drones, and it is a lot of waves. It's not about building one big army to take a good fight. It's about multiple sets of waves, lots of reinforcements, and you need a lot of money to be able to do that.
Splashing up against him constantly to just try and punish the positions in the middle of the map, but Maru here attempts to push into the middle again. This Banshee somehow still alive, 24 kills.
3 Medivacs headed towards the main base. He can deal so much damage, there's nothing here.
And
especially because he's spreading Life so thin. There's one force all the way up towards that 4th, and here's the other one.
Attention being spread so far out here. Maru with a great little bit of strategic positioning gets the spawning pool. We've all seen how it plays out when Maru's able to get those during this tournament. He could even pull back here, and he's already done quite a bit of damage. Widowmine gets a connection on some of those Mutalisks, and the army on the right-hand side over at the 4th base looking to push down. Could get a lot of drones. He's already got 14 on the other side of the map. He loses a bit of that army, but he's getting a few more over here. He's going to get the hatchery entirely.
And this is a big move here, a big pick off for Maru if he's able to get that, which he should absolutely be able to get it.
Even the splits against the Banelings, picks a few of these units up, gets out of there, knows the Mutalisks are going to be nipping on his heels as he does pick up and get out, so crippling some of that economy again here. Maru, once again in game number 4, playing very nicely.
Just beautiful use of the map here. Like I pointed out earlier, it was always going to be a weakness for Life in this game. He's always going to be expanding north. Maru's going to be pushing through the middle to get to that north base, and then while you're doing it, you send off 2 or 3 Medivacs to the left. And it's very difficult to defend in these multiple locations.
And how does Life keep up with him now in terms of economy? Oh, no. Okay, one medevac does end up falling. Good reactions from Maru, only losing one of the medevacs. If he'd have lost it all, that could have been the comeback there for Life. But again, the fourth base going to end up falling.
Yeah, it's going to end up falling there, and there's a fourth on the way for Maru here. Life gambled with his Mutalisk being in that position, was kind of hoping for the medevacs to fly in, which they did. But in return for that, he wasn't able to defend that fourth from being cancelled. And now a huge parade push through the middle. Life is down in supply. Life is
supply blocked.
In a lot of trouble.
Yeah, a few Banelings going to morph in, but the Mutalisks are going for the counter-attack, realizing that as the army stepped onto creep, it was going to be a little bit much for him to actually deal with. The Mutalisks doing quite a bit to actually deny some of that reinforcement. Widowmines have got some connections, but Banelings morphing in up to the top right to try and catch some of this army.
The Widowmines in perfect position here for the Banelings.
Oh, he's going to lose a lot of those. Okay, loses a few of them, even just to a Marine there. The Mutalisks did actually kill off a few Widowmines on the reinforced, but he's lost his natural now. He's lost a lot of his income. Maru still has so much of his production left over during all of this. Of course, it is being camped upon, but the army over the other side of the map cannot be contested here by Life.
No way. There's no way he's stopping that army on the other side of the map, and it doesn't matter how many mules you have at this point. There are way too many barracks. There's a Thor going to come out. You can kill the Marines as they pop, but his income is not being hindered, which means the Marines will never stop coming out of the barracks, and eventually the Mulists will get webbed thin.
Life's got to find a way out of this. He really does. If he falls down 3 games to 1, then it's going to cause a lot of problems for him in this series. He's at 100 supply, sub 100 supply. Maru's able to take the main base, and with that, so too do a lot of hopes of Life fall down the drain here in the 4th game. This is going to be really, really bad here for Life if he's not able to find a way.
He's got to keep on trying to pick off these Marines, but the problem is Maru can always come back with a lot of his Marines from the other side of the map here. His entire infrastructure is been destroyed. Life only has those Mutalisks.
Wise little moves there, auto-detonating some of those Banelings to catch even just a few Widowmines, trying to find small advantages, evening up the supply a little bit here are the Mutalisks that are catching those reinforcements over and over, but he's going to lose this base. If the splits are good here from Maru, there's not much more he can do in terms of the defense. The base will fall. He was trying to get Burrow there as a last salvation in this game, but it was denied.
He's trying to get rid of the economy by killing SCVs around as well, so the Mulists can maybe wear it down against these Marines if they stop coming out at the rate they are, but he can't stop them. There's way too many Marines here.
It's all base trade here. How many Mutalisks does he have left to his name? 8 or so. Not much more. GG, Maru takes the lead 3-1, extends that even further here in game 4, and look at him. He's relaxed as anything.
The cameraman had to adjust the camera there because Maru was slouched in his chair like he was playing against the computer. It's that easy for him, apparently.
Apparently. Hitting time and time again on the left, on the right, from the 1st base to the 4th base. They're so far away on a map like Catalina. And Maru exploited it brilliantly in there in game number 4.
Excellent play. Just, brilliant play again from Maru. Unfortunately, Life not able to keep up with him there.
And now that man on screen has a tall task ahead of him. And that was no pun on his height, because he needs to win 3 games in a row to win this championship. And Maru 1 game away from being an Intel Extreme Masters champion. I actually just got chills saying that, because Maru is a guy that we haven't seen on foreign soil a lot at all. And now he's here and he decides, well, I guess I'll just win this one.
Yeah, he's absolutely dominated Zergs throughout this tournament. He's slapped down Hydra and True and Sulky. It's been very impressive to see from Maru, and it's been a long time since we've seen him win a tournament as well. It was 2013 when he won his last one. I think it was August. But here we are, fast forward a couple of years or a year and a half, and he's looking at his next victory. But Life, as we've said multiple times, and we've heard it multiple times before, always seems to find a way, and this is the time that he needs it. He's looking for his 9th championship in StarCraft 2. He's grabbed an Intel Extreme Masters championship before, looking to try and get his 2nd here. But Maru, after game number 1, if we just discount game number 1, is dominated. He's absolutely dominated the last 3 games.
Yeah, he has. From even the Reaper micro at the beginning of game number 4 there at Catalina to catch as many drones as he did, to, again, drawing him back and forth from the 1st to 4th. All right, let's get into it then. Game number 5 here between these two. Varney Research Station, one of the newer maps, is going to come to the table to find out if Maru can take it 4-1. Right now, he's looking poised to take that score. Or if Life, a previous Intel Extreme Masters champion, a BlizzCon champion, can bring it back. As we have spawning up to the north position. He's 1 game away. He's in the blue. Representing Jin Air Green Wings, it's Maru.
Is this the game that he 2 barracks on?
Maybe. And down to the south, it's our red Zerg. Representing Startail, it is live.
And I think this is the game that he decides to proxy barracks on the other side of the map with an SCV moving out here. If we just think back to earlier on in this tournament against True or Hydra, one of the two, on this map, he did do the proxy double barracks Reaper.
He needs to find himself a really bizarre spot to throw this down if Life is going to follow the same pattern he has done.
Well,
drone scout, spot these things.
The funny thing is,
quite far away.
Every game, 3 in a row now, Life has drone scouted looking for this. He hasn't found anything and has technically hurt his income because of it every single time.
Yeah.
Now, the 4th map, or the 5th, yeah, the 5th map here, sorry. Does he want to do it again? And it's, like I said, 4 maps in a row, sorry, that Maru's done this. He doesn't drone scout, but he does go spawn and pull first. Is this to try to capitalize on a potential command center first, which is quite popular on this map? Or does he just rush the fast queen? There's 2 ways to swing this. And it is going to be the Reaper build, where Maru is going to try and win his championship on the back of his Reaper control.
And we saw how well it did last game with just 1 Barracks Reaper. Now let's see how Life's going to fend off 2 Barracks Reaper, because this could cause a lot of pain. Reveals the SCV. That's going to have to go up to a left-hand corner or something like that if he wants to put up a back bunker, but does Life track it? Does he check it? That's a big question in this.
Well, there's no gas this time. There's no scout this time.
Oh.
There's no information this time.
He cancelled the barracks after seeing that the spawning pool was finished. So it's just going to be the 1 barracks. Maru not looking to try any craziness off the back of what he scouts.
Apparently not, no.
So, gonna fall back to what he does best, which is probably mid-game orientation. As he catches himself a few lings here.
Yeah.
Reaper. I mean, the Reaper arrived pretty fast, so does Life suspect
This could work
things?
pretty well for Life for Maru, if Life really overcommits to the defense here. He knows that there is a proxy barracks because his Overlord shows that there's nothing there, and he's obviously not seen the Reapers coming down, so... And now he sees 2. If Life doesn't really add on many drones while doing this and starts building a lot of lings or a lot of queens and a static defense, then that's pretty good for Maru.
I think because he sees even numbers, he's not exactly overcommitting. If he'd have seen 3 jump in, of course. I mean, well, yeah, that's a given, but just the 2 really twigs him off to the fact that it's only 1 barracks worth.
And he's just building drones. The barracks on the other side of the map is naturally a weakness here. At this point, the barracks would be lifting up or building the reactor, lifting up after that to put the tech lab down to build stim. And Maru's decided to plan his barracks back down to build a marine, then lift up and go. He wants to get rid of that Overlord on the other side of the map.
And actually probably will be able to catch it unless it moves onto the high ground just above the base in the middle of the map, which it's currently navigating towards. So.
But Life not phased, and unfortunately here for Maru, with Life not being phased after deciding to cancel the 2nd barracks, Life's ahead. Life's got a good lead in this game. He's got a fantastic economy.
He's up very, very far in terms of supply.
Yeah, minimal amounts of defense was built. Only had 4 Zerglings.
Yeah, reacted nicely, really nicely.
Queen's been added on. Is very natural to be added on.
And Maru's trying to compensate with double command center off the back.
Yeah, so here comes a question which Solkey had to answer for in the last game he played against Maru. You gain a lead. What do you do with that lead? Do you want to try to push yourself further ahead and allow potentially Maru to play greedy to catch up? Or do you look to end it? And with the amount of Zerglings in production, I think it's safe to say we may be having our answer.
Yeah, that Queen's going to push away these Reapers on that left-hand side. He really wanted to take his 3rd base, but and it showed to Maru that he wanted to take his 3rd base, but with these Lings on the way, the Overlords being added on. But then again, he starts 5 extra drones, so I guess he's making sure that he can push this off.
He wants to catch all 3 of those Reapers and then really panic Maru. He's built quite a few Lings, but then we'll switch back to full drones, but the Reapers leave.
Wow.
A very smart timing, just 25 seconds before Zergling speed was going to be completed, he leaves.
That's a strong level of patience there from Maru to say, okay, you got a spawning pool first. I imagine Link speed is going to be done pretty soon.
And that's pretty awesome to see, because if that was actually drones, all of those are drones, I don't even know how far ahead Life would be. It wouldn't even be funny to have a look how far ahead he'd be, but he just pulled back. Yeah. That was awesome.
That was
a lot of links useless.
It's such a small thing, but you're right. It's a really nice move, and he's got back to the safety of Hellions, so can push straight on forwards again. The Overlord sees those, and the Lings should be a little bit apprehensive about moving out this far, but they do manage to get us around. Maru could have reacted a bit quicker to that, but in the end, only loses one Hellion for that many Zerglings.
And off the back of this 3 command centers, it is going to be once again Hellion Banshee around to harass this third base and potentially the back one as well.
A lot of creep spread going on now here for Life, as he did have a good position from the earlier stages of this game and can get that pushing out. The Hellions and Reapers would ideally like to be over there to deny some of that.
And there are no Spore Crawlers. There's been no follow-up scouting here from Life. He only has that single Overlord in the middle of the map. He has no idea Hellions and Banshees are both being made together.
Unless you send the Overlords really early on this map, it's difficult to actually get over there and even see what's going on. But, well, one Queen's going to get scratched and scathed a little bit. And does not go down, so good control there by Life.
Yeah, this next attack's going to be pretty awesome, I think, here from Maru. If he doesn't get scouted, that is. Oh, I think the Banshee and Starport may have been seen. Well, the Starport definitely, Banshee probably as well. Does he want to add in Spores now?
24 Lings just get added on.
Just going to wait for the layer to complete. It's going to
be close.
Be a small window, I think, here where this Banshee can get damage done.
Yeah, throws down a macro hatchery so he can keep his production very, very strong across these 3 bases so far. 44 workers to 69. He still has a great economy, but eventually when Maru gets set up on his third base, it's a lot to wall off, though, on your third base as a Terran, though, so you got to be careful of that.
This Banshee completes, the layer completes as the Banshee goes in, so he can easily build an Overseer.
Yeah, gets shooed off by the Queens initially.
He didn't invest in Cloak anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Creep spread continues on. As he's spreading the creep spread forwards in this angle, the fourth base can be taken pretty quickly here by him, especially since he saw the third base being taken on the other side of the map. So he does plant that down.
But Life's going to try and break this third and force a lift. He's built a lot of Lings.
And again, it's hard. It's really hard to defend that location. It's one of the most open third base locations in the entire map pool. How is Maru going to be able to deal with it?
Well, if Maru makes a mistake and gets his hind surrounded, he will have to lift. And he will just be suffocated from mining from this third, which will push Life very far in the lead.
Spire on the way behind it. Here come the Lings. There's actually the Hellions have gone back into the middle of the map, and he does catch some of these Marines for free. Banelings morphing in whilst all this is going on. And that's a few Hellions, but if the Lings are able to get a good surround on them, he could shut this down. They do cut off a little bit of that. Here come the Lings. Here comes the Flood, trying to get on top of these units. Catches the Reapers. The Hellions are the only ones left, controlling 2 little portions of those Hellions. But here come the Banelings busting on through. Can they connect with the Marines on the other side of that wall? I don't think so. He filters through his production, keeping some of them alive. The Hellions are going to be able to fend this off.
Yeah, his building placement is absolutely unbelievable. Having units in between the buildings like that, having the Marines shoot all together, but the Zerglings having a hard time to surround. That was a very good hold there from Maru. Very easy hold, too.
Yeah, the filter through for melee units is difficult to contend with as Life, again, goes in with a few Lings, sees the positioning of the army and decides, maybe not. Pull back for now.
And that attack is giving Maru a lot of freedom, and he hardly lost anything in that. That was a disaster, that fight. It went completely the way that Life didn't want it to go.
Yeah. The absence of the Hellions actually for a second there might have even helped Maru in terms of he may have been pinned up against that entire position, and then all of those Lings might have done some damage. Of course, they would have done damage themselves. The Mutalisks grab themselves a free medevac. Lots of M's in that sentence.
Well, there's a 40 supply lead here for Life, and he's going to try and bust through a supply depot wall or in a bunker or whatever there is over on that third base with these Banelings and Zerglings, but have been found by that Banshee, nice and easy.
10 more drones being added on for Life, and catches a few Mutalisks there. Just one, in fact. Goes down.
16 Banelings getting ready for the defense here. He's going to have that +2 carapace, which is always nice. He's got pretty decent creep spread as well.
Still another flood of Lings. Sees the Hellbats morphing on the edge of creep. These Banelings are morphing in a brilliant time as he starts to clear up some of the creep to make it more disadvantageous for Life. Goes in for the engagement. A few of those Banelings actually catch the army on the left-hand side, but Maru pushes on and powers forwards. There's still so many Banelings, though. It's a bit of a treacherous line there to be walking for Maru as He splits off a few of the banelings forward, and he still has so many retained back at home.
Yeah, despite Life making a couple of mistakes here and there, he's had such a good economy from the beginning of this game. It was almost like he's playing a money map because of the way that Maru gifted the early game to him with the amount of drones he was so easily able to build, that he's just got a lot of stuff here. He's on 4 bases, he's got good creep spread, he's able to go up to the infestation pit and looking at the hive very easily without worrying about saving money to build an army. He's just in really good position because of this economy.
Yeah, saving or getting an opportunity to throw down that and save the gas for that to transition onto the hive is fantastic at this stage against the Terran. A few banelings do end up falling in this engagement as Maru tries to split off once again. Mutalisks grab themselves a medevac, and Life's being very, very slow and cautious about this assault. So goes in again, banelings on the left-hand side. A lot of those Marines did not split, and they did take big, big damage there against some of those banelings. And on the right-hand side, oh, these Widow Mines might be able to zone out. He's a little bit cautious again about moving forward. Split some of those banelings off as he's trying to chase Maru back further and further. The macro is continuing on, though. A lot of Lings going to reinforce against all of this.
Well, he's chasing for the victory here. He's just going all the way back, pushing Maru from the edge of creep all the way to a stern, and is going to continue to hopefully push to get the victory to get his second score.
Unless the supply lines are able to hold strong here for Maru, he's not going to have too much of an opportunity to really hold on at all, and he does manage to push it away for now.
He needs to just gather his units around these barracks, plant these Widow Mines, and defend like you've never defended before.
The banelings are morphing in as well. There's still a lot of Mutalisks harassing this area. Thor pops out, but the Mutalisks aren't clumped up enough for it to be doing ample damage to push it away. SCVs were off the line as well. Lings and banelings continue to power on forwards, and even going to maybe get a few of these SCVs. Got to be very, very careful with that. Picks up a few. And the Mutalisks actually brought down the Thor as well on the ramp, and GG! Life is able to take game number 5 and make sure that he is not down and out in this series, not going to die off in 4-1 fashion.
Nope, but he's still got 2 more games to go, but it was a very nice game there by Life, almost gifted a little bit by Maru in the early stages. And he took full advantage of it. Said, okay, if you're going to try to go 2 barracks against me, cancel 1, then fall back, and it's fine by me, I'll take that lead. And he did take that lead. And Maru was just always fighting an uphill battle throughout that game, throughout all of it. Despite what Life threw at him, he had such a good economy to back every decision up. He was just able to have such a large army, and that's what won him the game at the end.
And across the entirety of this tournament, not a lot of proxies have really worked out for Maru that we've been able to witness here.
Everyone expects it from him.
Yeah, that is the image he gives. That is what you normally come to see from him. Life taking the precautionary measure there of spawning pool first. Fends that off nicely. And now we find ourselves in game number 6. Expedition lost.
As much as Life won that, you have to think that Maru helped him win that. Life has to win a game on his own merit there as well, where it was just very equal, and then he dominated because he played like he did in game number 1. He needs to be able to do that for the rest of this if he's going to be able to reverse this from a 3-1 deficit to a 4-3 victory.
An Expedition loss is an interesting map. We saw at the very beginning of the tournament, Hyun versus Polt on this one. Hyun plays a different style, of course, to Life, so can't really take too much from that. But it does show us the potential for counterattacks on this map, the potential for trickery and drawing someone from the back rocks to the front. And when you're a Zerg player, when your units are highly mobile, that's a fantastic asset to have.
Yeah, I think this map, Expedition Lost for Maru, could be a dangerous map for him to play greedy on. I would like to see him kind of take the initiative for himself against Life.
All right, well, we're getting into things then. Game number 6. As Maru is still 1 game away from the Intel Extreme Masters Championship here in Taipei. But Life has breathed a new sigh of relief. And up to the top right-hand corner, it's our blue Terran representing Jin Air Green Wings. It is Maru. And to the bottom left, our red Zerg representing Startail, pulling it back in this series just a little bit. It is Life.
So some of the ways that he could approach playing this is play one of his builds that he's used so often in Pro League, and it is the later gas after the barracks into Marine production, into the Widow Mine Hellion Marine drop that hits pretty early and can surprise a lot of Zergs. I think that's a pretty good build, and on this type of map could work well for him. Life looking for that 2 barracks.
Yep. And he's going to go very far out to try and find it.
Yeah.
Very far.
And it is a command center first of all things coming out from Maru.
So good economic opener for Maru. Life loses a little bit again because of the image of Maru, because of what he portrays himself as. But he will be going hatchery first as well.
Yeah, so with the command center first here, already Life is going to be like, huh, you greedy little boy. And what can he do to punish it? Already hoping to delay the command center a little bit here.
And opts to
Which he
build up
is.
the barracks.
Yeah, he knows it's going to be delayed by the looks of it. And definitely doesn't want to have a hatchery placed down.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'll delay my command center, that's fine. So that's a small win there for Life with that drone.
Yep. Especially considering the deficit, or the little bit of deficit he had to make up from it not mining. So.
And also, if there was an early spawning pool or something, he started to build the barracks in case there were.
So it was a nice choice as well.
But Life saying, all right, you're going to have a super late barracks, it's fine by me. You're not going to play greedy with your command center first. I delayed it, didn't I? And I had to build a barracks, it's fine, I can still get away with this 3 hatchery.
Lovely little move there by Life. Maru's going to end up noticing this pretty darn soon after the drone hatch scout, or drone scout even.
Is he going to build a Reaper?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now does he want to build a bunker? Is the second question.
He may do. He's going back in, actually, towards that natural, but the Overlord does see it entering, so going in between mineral line with that SCV, not too much more, and comes back out.
No bunker going to be made.
All right, so a bit of a slower start after things have been scouted out on both sides. Both know what they're playing against.
Yeah. With this faster third hatchery that Life has, he will have a lot of extra production come the mid game. Once the queens start lava injecting into these, because he's got 3 hatcheries set up, he'll have 3 sets of lava injects going much earlier than he would do if it was a normal game here. So we'll see what he decides to do with that extra set of production that he has going his way.
Yeah.
And it might come down to what he scouts, in all honesty, unless he really dedicates to something blindly, which, when your championship is on the line, do you really want to do that?
Probably not, although Life is the kind of guy that can throw caution to the wind and just go for things. 3 queens are about to pop at all of these locations. And this Reaper is being annoying. The space between the natural and the third base for this Reaper is quite nice, just in case drones pop out at one of these locations. The queen's going to have to zone out on its own for a little while whilst Lings catch up.
Whoop. That's 1 drone kill.
Ooh, nice. Got very close there to dying to the queen. Ooh, oh. Oh well. And that's your map vision gone.
His neck.
He's gone. Starport's going to go down.
Yeah, currently there's no units out. So the Starport could... I mean, we'll see if he's going to try to pick up anything from this. I mean, if he even goes for a medevac in the first place.
Lings are heading across as more and more drones pile out here for Life. Knows that he's not going to be threatened by that Reaper. Nice shots from the Hellions to clean that up, the first 2 Lings. And he's trying to hide, but you can't hide from Maru, as he is able to find them and kill them off.
All right, medevac it is. But there's only 1 Marine, so it looks like it's going to be a 4 Hellion drop, which could go, you know, all the way around to the main base. And then, of course, with 4 Hellions, he's going to be one-shotting these drones. Could be a nice move if it's able to be pulled off. 3rd command center right behind it, so seems like a small investment here for Maru to squeeze in that starport, then the command center afterwards. Medevac, of course, naturally given there with the starport.
And that's why we see 2 creep tumors joining those bases together, because you have to be adamant about doing that on a map like this, between the natural and the 3rd base. If the Terran is able to establish themselves in that area, then you may as well say goodbye to your hopes.
So a dart of an attack coming in. 4 Hellions on the left, 2 Hellions on the right. That has been spotted, by the way. And Life is adding on Lings. Queens need to get into position.
Hellions on the right. There is a queen there. 2nd queen's going to come and help and reinforce, but 2 drones have already gone down to those Hellions. And here comes the attack in the main base. But the queens are already there as well. He's produced ample amounts of queens to go for this defense. He gets 2 drones, gets a 3rd. Some of these Lings are going to end up holding this back whilst the queens get their good job done, but those drones have to be very careful. They were very stacked up there for a second, but there's not enough firepower to bring down a huge clump like that.
Pretty nice, 7 drones, pretty nice. And he did get out with the medevac.
These two Hellions on the right-hand side trying to threaten. Life is going to cover those bases by throwing creep all the way down that way as well.
The big problem is, as good as 7 drones is, I think more would have been better, obviously. Because with the amount of lava that Life has to play with, he's replenished and actually has already 62 drones.
Well,
after replenishing.
At 9 minutes.
Which is pretty sick.
Yeah. I guess he just gets away with it after the triple hatch. That's the boon of being very greedy.
Well, maybe he can get some more kills.
Maybe. Lings are there to delay for a little bit. The Queens are slightly out of position. And drones even get transferred up to the main base as well. You don't want to be doing that with those there. He actually pulls some drones off the line to contest that whilst buying time for the extra Queens to get up there. And these two Hellions, I don't think they're going to get much more done. We've got to be very careful about coming back here. If the control is good, he's going to get even more. 8 workers extra go down during all of this. And he dives into the 3rd base again. They're so far away from under these bases as Maru's trying to draw his attention left and right, left and right.
Now that is better. Now that is healthy, as a Terran would say. Because at first it was a little bit, not too comfortable with that. But now he's killed 20. He put Life to 55 workers to 50 SCVs. That is good. Now it's gone back up to 64, but that is good. That is comfortable for Maru. That was a success.
Centrifugal hooks on the way to complement this with the layer already finished, of course, and Spire now going down as well. So Life's transitioning on to, again, his normal mid-standard game, but Maru's taking his 3rd base. Yeah. And there's not really too much room here for Life to exploit that just yet, so this is going to go a bit uncontested.
Taking a step back for a second, I just have to admire Maru's decisions to go for the starport, to go for the Hellion drop. If he hadn't have done that, it would have been 80 drones versus 40 SCVs. It actually would have been. So the choice that he made to do that was world-class. I love it. I actually think it was a brilliant move and brilliant decision-making to penalize Life, who he knew was going to be greedy, and he did. And he punished.
He needed a way. And in the end, we see now that the 4th base is going to go down for Life. But again, on a map like this, look how far all the bases are away. It's worse than Catalina for a Zerg.
Yeah.
From the 1st base to the 4th base, unless you have good eyes on drops and aggression coming down there like the creep spread is trying to do, but doesn't spot this just yet, you are going to get punished.
And Life may try something very similar to what we saw in Secret Spring, where he tries to break in between the 2nd and 3rd. No Spire yet, lots of Lings, and extra hatcheries being built.
He's gotten himself in a good position with those Marines to eventually then pick up and get out of there.
Oh, sorry, there is a spy. I didn't think the spy was done. Never mind. Excuse me. The spy has completed.
All right, so some Mutalisks on the way.
So he's got to be, like you said, very careful of drops on the left and pushes on the right.
Yep. And
Overlord spread's non-existent on this left-hand side because the Vikings cleared up 1 or 2 down there.
Exactly, you stole the words out of my mouth. He's been able to clear up so much vision. It's only the creep that's really granting him positions here. He's got some Lings well prepared in the main base, though, morphing in a few Banelings there.
And again, this is the stage of the game where Terran wants to harass and slow you down, and then look to kill you when his 2-2 upgrades are done. So far, Life hasn't taken that much damage at this stage of the game. He's had pretty much 100% defense rate at the current point. Look at it. He hasn't taken any damage yet.
Yeah, doing good. And as that creep wraps around towards that, I would say 5th base up to the top right of where the creep is currently on this map, then that's going to make it all the easier to defend that 4th base down to the bottom right. So Life's doing a good job of maintaining his cool and making sure that he can plan for the later stages of this game when Maru starts to really, really put on the pressure.
Yeah, that Baneling was a sad twin Banelings there get blowing up. But it's all about keeping units inside the main base and having the majority of your force on the right-hand side. And now Maru's like, oh gosh, I'm not really getting much done here. Starts to focus a lot more, clearing creep, pushing this right side.
This game's going to be drawn out if both of them have to say anything about it. It's so even in terms of supply that it means that these engagements on both sides should be world-class, but he takes a lot of damage to those Banelings. That wasn't world-class. Maru should have been splitting. His attention was set elsewhere on the left-hand side, loading up these drops.
And I was going to say, there weren't that many Banelings out there anyway, but they got a lot of damage done.
Drop on the left-hand side now. Lings react instantly. Can't go in for that. On the right-hand side, Maru going to try and push onto the 4th base. Not that many Banelings. One of them rolls forwards, gets a good connection with some of those Marines, but thankfully they were able to deal with just the 1 connection. This one wants 2-2. 2-2 not finished just yet for the Terran.
Oh, the Medivacs, the Mutalisks, why did they go back? They could have killed off those 2...
not able to chase.
Medivacs, I think he wants the bigger piece of pie here.
Surround, he has to pick up and get out of there. Boosts away. Gets a big big portion of that army there. There's also the double drops going on to the left-hand side.
Life should have took those two medivacs out on the left-hand side and then joined up his forces after. He wanted to get a lot more on this right-hand side, which he ended up getting nothing for.
And now Maru here trying to push on again. Dropping down the scan, going to clean up some of this creep. And there's a few units just isolated here that Life doesn't necessarily want to be losing, but his army behind this is very, very potent, very strong. Is he going to go for it? Splits a few Banelings forwards as the initial wave.
Yeah, need some more Banelings.
Only has 13 to his name at the moment. That's still a strong Bioforce. 2-2 is about to complete.
Rough hit there again. Life is in a perfect position. He's got 85 drones, he's on 5 hatcheries, he's gone unharassed throughout this game, and it's looking great. He's building up a very powerful army. The Mulus count has gone untouched as well. When you could build 30 Banelings freely like that, you know you're in good shape. The one thing that is going in Maru's favor is the creep spread on this right-hand side has been pushed back pretty good. And now he does have these double drops on the left-hand side, and the Mulus are on the other side of the map.
Whoa, going for the counter. A bold, ambitious move here for Life. Let's see if it's going to work out as the drops on the left-hand side. Static defense gets added on, but he goes straight to the missile turret to bring that away, and a few Marines even going to get evaporated as well under this pressure. This drop might be able to do a bit of damage. On the right-hand side, how much is he going to be able to do, really? A few Banelings did actually catch with some of this army, but not too much of it. Maru was able to split nicely. Ooh, loses a few more Banelings there as well. So some of these Widowmice still have a charge. Catches a lot of Banelings there against this, but has to pull on back. Just too much on the ground. The Mutalisks are doing a lot to the reinforcement lines here, though, of Maru. Yeah, and likewise, Marines inside the main base, too. Catching some of these units as well, but still, Maru can't really, Life can't really shut that down in their main base, but Maru's still taking a bit of damage in these. If he were able to get the engineering base, then good God, that would be amazing, but he doesn't quite have the upgrades on these Mutalisks to kill those off without their army coming back to stop him. Gosh, he's doing a lot of damage to that mineral line there. Yeah, he's got 18 workers across these two bases. Swinging around, and now it's become a defensive game for Maru. Oh, gets caught with his medivacs transferring from one base to another. This is an opportunity here for Life to, well, he's trying to catch these medivacs. Well, he really needs to get out. Another medivac! Oh, Maru. He needs to get out of there, though. Caught between a rock and a hard place in between those two bases. As a Zerg player, when you decide to send your Mutalisks out, is the time where you go, all right, I hope this works, because I know when I move out, drops are moving in. Yeah, and it did work out well for him. And now Maru's had to completely retreat back with all of his forces to manage to clear up the Mutalisks. That has given Life time to regather everything back together, build up a Baneling count. Luckily for Life, the drop inside the main base didn't do that much. If that had gotten the Spire, the spawning pool, a hatchery, Life would have been in much worse shape. But if you think about it, of both doing the same type of drop, Life did more damage than Maru did. Maru reels for a second only to go push again here. All the Banelings this time flow forwards. It's not wave after wave, it's just one solid push as the Mutalisks trying to do some damage through the middle. Banelings aren't enough to be able to push back all of that bio, and there is a Thor in the mix as well, so those Mutalisks have to be careful. Good fight there by Life. Once again, just going over to what I said earlier, when you play this 85 drone style, lots of heavy economy coming in, you want to make trades like that to wear the Terran down to then rebuild and go in again before he's ready. And he's expanding down the direction he's going to be pressuring here is Maru, so trying to defend and attack at the same time. Wouldn't even be too bad to bring down the rocks to actually reinforce that base a little bit quicker from his main, but he does get on the supply, on the production again, goops up a lot of these buildings, making it hard to even produce anything, never mind get them out to be killed, and Life is maxed out. Slowing down the income from that main base, slowing down the production as well, while killing off any loose units, while back at home, hopefully building up a big Baneling count. He is going to be fighting against 3-3 in the next fight, but the way he's playing this out, by harassing... Picks up and drops off, but unfortunately he loses a few of those medevacs too. That Thor comes along and fends that off. Yeah, excellent play from Life. He's getting ready for one big push to come out when Maru finally stabilizes, and hopefully he's going to be ready to take that fight. He keeps finding angles. This is beautiful little Mutalisks play by Life to kill off SCV after SCV. This army is not going to get microed. His attention's elsewhere, and all gets obliterated. Yeah, get those mules too. Fresh mules, lovely jubbly. Very nice. So Maru now down. Oh, the planetary on the right-hand side! Oh, he's going to lose it! Oh, that was a lot of his income actually gone down the drain. 23 workers have fallen during this. Gets the missile turret on the second base. Life at the moment is doing it. If he's able to tie this up 3-3, Maru's going to hold on though. He's still got a little bit of fight left in him. The use of Mutalisks, the use of flying around with them, pulling Maru left and right to then surge straight through to the planetary with the Baneling morph with the high income that he has. Excellent move from Life, and that is a potentially
it ties up the series.
Yeah.
It's going to tie up the series, that type of move. That completely hinders the income of Maru. After all the SCVs that have been slaughtered and no mining base, excellent.
Maru trying to get back into it, but he's not got any opportunity at all. He's going to lose a lot of banelings on that 4th base as well. 36 workers got to transfer to that location.
We missed that, but I was watching it on my monitor, Colaris. There was 36 SCVs that just got transferred over there, and they all blew up to 2 borrowed banelings.
Oh my god, and now this is do or die for Maru. He has very little income left unless he's able to break this location of life. He's not going to be able to break him at all. The banelings move forwards. Actually, the Thor's still alive, and he does do a big volley to those mutalisks, but still, reinforcements going to be coming for life.
It doesn't matter, Colaris. There is so much Zerg here. He's going to come around to wipe up this army, and life is going to tie this series up.
Wow, unbelievable. What a game on Expedition Lost to kill off the rest of the bio. Not even any banelings left over here, as he will be able to eventually get some onto location, push away the Marines. Maru is not leaving. He does not want to give up.
He does not, because he's got that expansion back up and running, but with another big morph of banelings, the income heavily faving life here with one big solid smash through with his banelings. He should be able to do this.
Loses another Widowmine to those banelings as well. All these small little things are really not going to help Maru.
Oh, banelings coming from behind here, or at least attempting to.
Yeah, the potential surround is very, very real as the mutalisks fly in again with the banelings catching some of that bio at the south, the north bio. There you go, GG! Life is able to tie up the series, keeping it alive. And in the end, we now go to one final game to decide who is going to be the Intel Extreme Masters champion. Unbelievable games we've had here so far.
I wished for it a few weeks ago to see a best of 7 between these two players. I got my wish, and so did thousands of fans out there as well. We've got the best of 7 between them, and we've actually gone to map number 7. And it isn't the series that some people wished it would never be. The cheesy 2 barracks, 6 pool, whatever it is type of series. It has been excellent games back and forth between both. We saw Life start the series excellently. Maru took the mid part of it, and then Life was able to make that comeback, being 3-1 down to tie it up 3 apiece.
And of any player to make a comeback in a final, Life is that guy that's done it time and time again. We're going to go to a short intermission here before game number 7 gets up and running.
Thank you very much, Colaris and Apollo there, not Todd, of course, on the commentary desk. And welcome back to the desk. We've got Susie here, and Maynard and Todd. Are you doing your Apollo or not? No? Yes, no? Okay. Terrific. I mean, what else could we have wished for in this tournament? Everything we've dreamed of and hoped for and wanted, all the way from day 1 to day 5, has been given to us. It's like Father Christmas has decided to give us every single present we ever asked for our entire lives. 3-3 in the grand final. Let's just recap a little bit. 1-0 to Life off a messy game from Maru. Lots of mistakes. I think we actually called him Mistaku at the end of the first map because it didn't look good for him. I did. Yeah. But very messy. You said yourself, without those mistakes, this would have been 4-0 already.
He threw very hard in game number 1, and Maru really outclassed Life for 2 games after that, and that was good because I really wanted to see what Maru would play, how Maru would play against Life. Game 1 didn't count to me because he made horrible mistakes, leaving the depots down and stuff that shouldn't have happened. But I mean, this finals, I'm headbanging like a monkey at a metal concert right now. Every single game, I just can't stop getting wiggly and jiggly and excited. I'm watching the games over there on the screen, and it's my favorite matchup. It's the Dream Finals, well and truly.
That's something, right? That's not nothing.
That's not nothing.
All the memes.
It's not nothing. That is absolutely something.
Is that a double negative?
It is, almost, nearly. How are you enjoying it, Susie?
This is great. I mean, this is definitely not the finals I expected, but I know this is a dream come true for you.
Yes.
No, it's, like the casters were saying, I'm glad there's no real cheese in it. These are like really well thought out games.
Yeah.
Both players are really just, they want this so badly, and you can see it. They are making slight mistakes here and there, but like they said, they're not in tip-top condition, but considering, oh man, they're doing so well.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1-0 down. Maru comes straight back into it, Todd. 3-1. You think it's hard to see where Life picks up a map here, but then he says, no, hold on. This game's not done. Comes back, makes it 3-2, and then we just saw another one, 3-3. It's the perfect end, isn't it?
Yeah, I think definitely both of these guys, they really don't get phased by anything. It's like they don't even see the score. As soon as the game starts, it's only about that one game that they are playing, and they've just been playing so well, in particular in that last map. Our good friend Liquid Red tweeted that game was crazy, and he emphasized how he thought that they are basically fighting everywhere and not making any major mistakes.
Yeah.
Like this last game was insane.
Yeah,
I really like
crazy,
the Catalina game as well.
Yeah, just like you said, multiple places at the same time, and almost like they've got 3 sets of hands and 2 brains, because there is stuff going on all over the map.
That's how both those players play.
Yeah.
They are the players that always have those runarounds. Maru's the guy with the drops, 3 places at once.
Yeah.
Life's the player that hits 3 places at once. So the observer has to deal with 3 different things going at once because there's non-stop action. And as it gets to that macro stage and the players have enough to make in 3 places at once, it'll always happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So entertaining.
Apparently, I'm just hearing that Legends is actually going to have a replacement mouse because it's burnt out from all the movement.
And a 3rd and 4th mechanical arm to be able to obviously the rest.
Just tapping all the other keys and stuff. He's got better micro than the players on the stage at the moment. So 3-3 all tied up nicely. Anyone want to change their predictions?
Nope. 4-3 Maru.
Okay.
Come on.
We said 4-3.
I'll
We
stay
did
with
say
Life.
4-3.
We did say 4-3.
Oh gosh, now I have to choose one.
No,
Yes.
No.
Susie, stay quiet,
Do it
Susie.
now, Susie.
No
okay?
spoilers.
No cursing right now. We've done it, so we're all good. Okay, let's leave that there before we do anything bad. It's 3-3 right now. Let's head back to the boys on the commentary desk as we go into our final map of the final game at the Intel Extreme Masters final tournament of Season 9 before the World Championships. Enjoy Map 7 between Maru and Life.
He's right, it's the final game here at the Intel Extreme Masters Grand Final in Taipei, and what a map to end it on. We go to Inferno Pools between these two to find out who is going to be our Intel Extreme Masters champion.
Inferno Pool, the map that we've seen the least at the Intel Extreme Masters. It's a new map that's been thrown into the ladder rotation for Season 1 of 2015. And we really haven't seen it played that much. It's been vetoed out a lot. We only see it on ladder usually. So the least amount of preparation is going to be on this map from both sides here. There's nothing that's been refined from it. We've only seen 1 series on it this entire weekend, or the last 5 days of StarCraft action, and it was Sean versus Pult. And it was a pretty fun game, but it was a roach type of play. Is Life going to want to embrace that, where he can break in between the 2nd and 3rd? Because the majority of these maps recently that have come into play do have that big opening between the 2nd and 3rd that Zerg can slice through and hopefully win the game from there. But aside from the map, I just have to say that the Intel Extreme Masters this season, in Season 9, has had some of the best StarCraft that, for me, I've ever commentated on from the very get-go of the seasons. We started off the season with Solar versus Tasia.
Oh, that series. That was fantastic.
In Shenzhen. It was a wonderful series. It was an excellent tournament. We moved on to Toronto, where we saw Flash versus Zest, and according to Team Liquid, Toronto was the best event of 2014. And then we had San Jose, where we saw Hero claim his 3rd title against Rain. And here we are on the 4th and final stop of the Intel Extreme Masters this season. And look at it. We have Maru versus Life in a 7-map grand final.
Unbelievable stuff so far.
And the World Championship is only a month or so away.
Unbelievable. All of those players will be attending that Intel Extreme Masters World Championship as we now get into game number 7. Who is going to be the champion here? Maru or Life? We'll find out right now as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Terran representing Jin Air Green Wings. It's Maru. And over on the right-hand side of this map, spawning to the bottom left. All right, even I should say. As our red Zerg, it is Life.
And it is close spawns.
Yes.
Which is crazy. These spawns are not the most liked from both of these players when they eventually find this out. It is very difficult because you are so incredibly close to each other. Just think about for a second as these builds shape up. Life's pocket 3 bases that he has on this right-hand side, if he consumes these and starts to have creep in the middle that is extending towards the split half point of this map, think about where Zerg usually would be. Now think about Maru and his 3rd and how close he's going to be just by sitting with his units in between the bases to how close creep actually is going to be. trying to take a 4th base. What happens if Life gets creative and takes the gold base forward? All types of weird strategies can come out from this. This is going to be a wild one, an absolute wild one.
It really is, and there's no excuses in the end. It's just win or lose. You either win and you are the Intel Extreme Masters champion, or you lose and you go home in 2nd place.
Right.
There's nothing. As now, they do know where each other have spawned, and this is going to dictate a lot of the choices that they make.
And I think it's mostly going to change the way that, well, it will change both, but in terms of aggression, will change Life. Is he going to be aggressive against this, knowing that his opponent isn't that far away? Maru is already going to be shaking in his boots, but he has opened up with 3 Reapers. Or at least is looking to open up with 3 Reapers. He's only just going at 1 right now, but he opened up with an 11 barracks, which usually suggests that 3 Reapers are going to be used, and he already has a bunker being built next to this hatchery.
Looking to exploit Life already in the start of this game. Drone is actually going to the edge of this creep here in the main base to check if any bunkers are going down there. Finds it at the natural. So how is he going to react? He has to start working on it.
Doesn't really want this to complete.
No. SCV has to move away for a second. And here comes the dancing now as this drone has to go for an extractor. Reaper can go into the main, but the Lings are already on the way.
Bit of an annoyance to just know that that's completed. But also Zergling speed has been scouted here by by Maru, and he gets 1 free drone kill.
Ooh. Doesn't want to be losing any more than that. The Lings do pop out. Buying time for these Queens to come along as well. Gets the SCV, so it can't repair. That's a really good start there for Life.
Yeah, if he can get this down before the 2nd Reaper gets in.
To start working on it. The Reaper only does so much damage here when it's inside and forces the burning, forces the cancellation. Good start by Life.
And then Poke to have a look at that gas. Get to the drones as well.
Sees how much is being mined. Actually pulls them away from that. As
another drone kill.
Nice
These
start.
Reapers are excellent here. 4 Lings are on the other side of the map, but they are going to run into a Reaper. Wow! Okay, he saw them. All right, that could have been dangerous.
And speed's halfway done, so these Lings could take quite a bit of damage. Where is he going with those other 2 Lings? Just looking to save them, I suppose, at this point. He really wanted to get over there to the command center to see if maybe he could delay it for a little bit.
Yeah, Maru's having a quick look around here. He's got to be very careful because Zergling speed is on its way, and of course, any type of rush could be on its way. Also, he doesn't really know what's going on, but Hellions are on the way. 3rd command center is the choice.
Ooh.
Coming out here from Maru, despite these positions, despite the aggressive tendencies that we know Life can have.
Economic power play coming out of Maru in the final game. Few more Lings get added on just to keep himself nice and sturdy. Leia!
Very fast.
Whoa.
Very fast. So 2 base Leia play could be the choice here. Or 2 base Spire, should I say. One thing to note, as much as we talked a little bit about earlier about how if Life plays aggressive, it can be very frustrating for the Terran, having the creep in the middle of the map and so on. But also very frustrating for the parade pushes that Terran can have as well. Don't forget about that Terran is very close, if Maru gets comfortable and gets a lead in this game, to just rallying over right to the heart of where Life's going to be. It can really be difficult for both sides.
You got to be careful. That's why you need, ample creep spread to deny the speed and rapidity of that push if it's coming through the middle of the map.
So pretty fast 2 base Leia, cutting out the Bailey Nest, cutting out. If there was Hellbats, Marauders and Hellbats and Marines, Hellbats and SCVs, I don't care, any type of aggressive play like that, Life would have died.
Yeah.
He's cut corners. He would have died versus this, but luckily for him, it is 3 command centers, and he's okay. He hasn't died.
Spires on the way. These Hellions managed to make their way into the natural. There's not that many Lings here just yet. They do rendezvous. A brilliant block with some of those drones to actually catch 2 of those Hellions.
Pause by Life.
Life will pause for a second.
And as that was happening, there were 4 drone kills from the Hellions, but also Reapers inside the main base getting into the worker line too. It was a nice pulley maneuver there. I think Life was experiencing a little bit of latency because he's actually just writing in the chat, just testing to see.
So admins will be with him in a second here, but he still has those Reapers in his main base. Dealing with that against the Queen, holding that down. Spires on the way, Bailey Nest is on the way. He's getting a few drones, or just 1 or so, but a few more Lings on the way because he needs to shut down the idea of these Hellions and Reapers on either side of his bases.
Okay, he's just saying to the admin here that there was a bit of lag. Admin's having a quick look. And he's Life said it's okay now to the admin and also in-game. in a very, very tense moment there.
And completely understandable why you would want to pause in this situation. Completely understandable.
Well, he's already started to take a couple of losses here of drones. Admin just checking Maru's all right, which he is. A lot of WCS points on the line for this, of course. The right to be a champion. Maru on search for his first InTouchStream Masters Championship at his first event, by the way, and his debut is looking at this victory. Whereas Life looking to try and get his second as the world champion, looking to deny Maru this victory. And Maru hasn't won a tournament since the GSL in 2013. It was a long time ago, approaching a year and a half now. But both players are ready, and the game can continue.
All right, going to try and have to deal with these Reapers. One of them ends up falling on this right-hand side in the main base, and the Hellions have been pushed away as well. So pulls the drones back. 7 have gone down with that, but it's still 37 workers to 30.
Well, he lost 3 Reapers and 2 of the 4 Hellions.
Not the best.
Yeah, for killing off in total this game, 10 drones. That was like an 8. There we go on the screen, sorry. 8 drone kills. Pretty good.
2 not minding going back to work.
Yeah.
16 Lings in production, just to fend off the Hellions, no doubt, in the middle.
Straight away.
Gonna have to head up to the top left with his Lings now, looking for some kind of counter-attack potential.
Is he going to morph Banelings with these Lings? Is he looking to run by through like he did in game 1?
He's gonna have to do something. They can't get... Whoop! Slips through there, really wants to get the goods round, and actually does. That's not a full wall off. On top of those Marines, this could be a big, big deciding factor here if he's able to do ample damage.
There's a lot more Lings being built.
Uh-oh.
Life smelt weakness. He's going to go for it.
It's still open. It's still open. Floods on in. Those Hellions really need to get back here and do something. 11 workers have died already. Life behind this. Still more and more Lings going to pile across. He gets on top of the Hellions. 1 or 2 of them end up dying off. But good micro here so far to try and kill off as many of those Lings as possible.
Life has no intentions to take this one long. He's just going for the kill right now. Baneling speed on the way, Mutalisk on the way. He's waypointed, rallying everything over to this side.
He only has 7 Marines out on the field, and he's only producing 3 at any given point in time. That's so many Lings. On top of this, is Life going to be able to make the comeback during this series? The Marines trying to position themselves up against this, but Maru is in a lot of trouble as the Lings have to move back. They're breaking down the wall.
Right, back off Life. Morph Banelings. Go in again. Baneling speed is ready.
How are you going to be able to deal with that few Marines? He can split, sure, but he might not even have enough to split.
Maru was way too greedy. 3rd command center, especially when you're losing 3 Reapers and 2 or 3 Hellions out in the open, and he's being caught for it.
There's even Mutalisks here of all things. Life now. It's walled off again, but the Banelings are going to be able to bust through that, no problem, as the Marines behind cower in fear. Great target fire there by some of the Marines to bring down as many of those Banelings as they can, but can they bring down the Mutalisks? Can they bring down the Lings? The turret is zoning out those Mutalisks, and that 1 Baneling, a few Banelings, 2 Banelings just being drip-fed to this base. He's going to bring down the rest of these Marines. There's only 4 on the field left.
33 supply to 65. Live continues to stream through.
Lifts up their supply depots. He needs to somehow rally back, but there's not many worker units left at all for him. Drops the mules, but the Lings are now in the main base.
Maru's in a lot of trouble here. Life is broken through.
Can do so much more damage with extra Lings pushing forwards here. 2 extra Banelings morphing in. This is going to give him so much security down the ramp and being pushed off your natural. Maru's not going to give up just yet, but he's taken so much.
He's walled himself in, and he's going to try and play this from 1 base, but Life is trying to break down the supply depot as the weak point at the south position. He'll break through that, taking the reactor with him, and then break through. Somehow, Maru needs to make a defense. Hellions, mines, medivacs, he needs everything he can get, because this is going to be very difficult. If he does not hold, Life will be a 2-time InTouchStream Master, the 2nd player to achieve that, right behind CJ Hero.
Pushing away this natural. The natural is infested. Maru has no option but to try and push down, but even that against this flood of units, not only that, but there's a transition behind this. He was actually making 10 drones whilst all this was going on. He can't claim this. He's even blocking it with Creep. A brilliant little move here by Life.
Widow mines. That's all I'm going to say.
There's 1 so far. Needs a whole lot more, maybe. The 1 Widow mine can make all the difference. More Banelings morph in. The Marines trying to lure this back.
He is baiting it. If he gets a good Widowmine connection onto those Banelings, he could blow up all of them.
Maru playing this very cautiously, focusing down some of the Banelings. Some more Banelings end up falling. He needs to load them up with the medevac so that he can get them out of there. Baits it back. Bomber as the Widowmine. Umber at the Widowmine.
He's using the command center to also hide the Widowmine notice, even though it's probably not intentional, but he was hiding it.
Yeah. He wants the Banelings. He pushes off to the natural. He actually, a lot of those Banelings hit those Hellions at the front and didn't do too much. Maru might be able to break out into the natural. There's a lot of Lings on the way though.
Widowmine.
Still the Widowmine is there. Actually connects with some Lings, and that's the only Widowmine he had for a little while.
There's a lot more units coming over though, and he's wasted all of his units trying to break down because he realized if he doesn't take the natural, he isn't going to be able to mine enough money to keep up with life.
Still the flood on forward continues. If that supply depot falls down with those Lings nibbling away at it, then it could be a lights out here. If this base is breached and it's burning down, he really needs to be able to hold on.
It was very close to holding on clutch, but it is becoming much more unlikely.
Banelings get in top of these the units, and they're going to bring down one or two of them. And also this command center is going to fall as well. Maru.
He's scanning the bases. That's usually a sign of him giving up. He's checking his opponent's economy rather than pushing his own.
He can't do anything. He can't do anything. There's too many Lings. There's too many Lings for life. His trademark unit is able to be all over this base, killing off SCV after SCV. GG life. An unbelievable recovery in this best of 7. He's been an Intel Extreme Masters champion in the past, but he does it here at the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei.